I got a real good deal on that Autel.
Oh, did you?
Well, I didn't buy it. I'm looking at it. I'm really considering it. Remember, it was like $2,100.
Yeah.
Now it's $1,600,
Oh, that's cool.
and that's with the smart controller. That's with 3 batteries, with the case, bunch of stuff. Maybe because they know that everybody's gonna get bricked, you know.
Could be. Well, I always thought that was inevitable, you know.
I still don't think it's gonna happen. I started something new last night. I have to listen to Bill's show on Coast to Coast. He said something that made sense, and people need to realize this. I'm gonna tell everybody when they come on, do it, and tell everybody you know to do it. Because I put it on Fly for Fun show already. Go to Twitter and put in "Don't ban our drones" and reason why, and don't be stupid. Do it right. Say it's going to cost lives for people, and it's going to cost jobs. It's going to cost lives, and explain it all. And then when you put it on Twitter, tag Stefanik, your representatives, the House Speaker, and do this every day of everybody in this drone community, like with Old Fortune Drones, and everybody did it. They
Yep.
get 100,000 tweets a day.
Hey, Daryl's here. Good morning, Daryl.
You know,
Michael.
Morning, everyone.
tweets,
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Mark.
She'd be bombarded with it.
Morning,
You know,
sir. Good morning, Joe. Good
100,000
morning.
tweets a day.
You've got that crackly microphone again, Michael.
I have? Okay, I'll try and sort that out.
You gotta quit ordering off a Temu.
Yeah, this is it. This is what I got. It's a Logitech microphone that I got from Amazon. It's pretty good though. Likely my connection.
It's
It
sounding
might
like
just be the connection.
either not plugged in properly or the connections are a bit dirty.
Hey, Mr. Ron is in his truck.
It's a brand new mic, so it's probably going to be the connection.
Hey, Paul, I just wanted to let you know that you guys, because you in particular have met him, and everything but Don passed away yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, sorry to hear
Oh.
that.
Condolences.
Yeah, you looked after him like a boss,
But and the you people can make fun or joke or whatever about little Hoboken, middle of nowhere Wyoming, but the hospital that he was discharged from, they probably did the most respectful send off ever. They sent him home Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
And on his way out the door, they announced his name, that he was taking a ride home, over PA system, his rank, his years of service, and every employee of the hospital was lined up in the hallway from his room down the hall into the emergency room and out into the ambulance garage, and then was given a
Broke up.
You froze.
your connection's fading a little bit.
We got as far as when he got
He
to
was
the
given.
ambulance. That's the last we heard, Ron.
Hey, Ron, the last we heard was he got to the ambulance. You've been breaking up. He'll be back.
Tell us about it when you get your connection back, Ron.
Yeah. That's too bad that Don passed away, but I think that everybody's been expecting that, but when it does happen, it still hits you hard, you know?
Well, I know it hit Ron.
Yep. That was his buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad to
He
see
looked
that
after him
the
well.
hospital did that though.
Yes. That just shows the kind of class they had there.
Yeah, yeah.
Good one.
Yeah, it does.
We see you, but we don't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
You can hear you
Yes.
The
now.
a lot
last
better,
thing
Ron.
we heard was he got to the ambulance. That's what we heard.
Yeah, they had the entire hospital, every employee that was available lined up. The people that were veterans saluted him
Good.
and gave him a police escort out of town.
Did
Wow.
was he still alive at the time?
Yeah, yeah.
What did he think about it?
I don't know. He wasn't really real, alert and whatever. But
Wasn't real cognitive.
just the only thing he did Tuesday morning was when they sent him out of there. Well, it was about 2 hours before. His speech was slurred. You couldn't tell what he could understand, not understand. But all of a sudden, in a very bold, clear voice, he said, "I want out of here." And his daughter gave him his final wish, and they made it happen. They made arrangements with the doctor, with hospice, with pharmacy for comfort meds. But 2 hours later, they're on their way out the door and got him home and got him to die at home where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
How long after he arrived at home did he die, Ron?
maybe about 20 hours.
Okay, so he did get a chance to maybe have in and out recognition of being home.
Yeah. And that dumbass cat of his that I hate did not leave his side. Jumped up on the bed with him and would not leave.
There you
So,
go. That's awesome.
Well, it just goes to show you, Ron, that animals once they make a connection with you, it's a bond that's there forever.
yeah.
If I was ill, if I was in a position where I was ill and facing death, I would want a friend like Ron to have looked after me. I would have to say it. I don't know Ron, but it is possible to have a good death.
That's the
and not
voice,
a lot of
that's
people
the
put it.
voice of Cool Cat Michael, Ron.
Yeah, not a lot of people frame deaths like that because deaths are very regrettable and it's not a nice
Well,
thing. But everyone dies.
It's the ending for everyone, right?
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
going to die. And there is such a thing as a good death, when you go around your family, you know that they love you and you love them and you're being looked after. There is such a thing.
Ron has been like his son.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because I think Ron deserves the recognition as a class act to look after him.
You know what I did, Paul, is I wasn't in the military, but that's where I met Don, was on the military base. And when I said, my boss I can't say enough about my place of work right now. I wanted to be the ambulance to give him a ride home, but the hospital he was in, they were adamant that their ambulance did it. And I was a little pissed off about that, but it is what it is. But my boss has said, "Ron, go to the house and be with them. We will cover your shift till you get back. But if you need to stay there, then we got the rest of your shift."
Yeah.
So I left work the other day for about 4 or 5 hours and went to the house. But one thing, I wasn't sure what he knew, what he could recognize. But I said to him, I said, "Don, I wasn't a soldier like you, but I spent 2 years with you there. And I said, this is the best I can do with a uniform on." But I was in full uniform and I saluted him.
Well, what did he have health care right to the end at home?
Yeah, he was in the hospital and he had health care. And then when he wanted out of there, his daughter, Monday, the thing with this, I had pizza with him on Saturday night. I was in the room with him, sat there and chatted with him for 2 hours before I went to work. And then Monday he did a complete 180 and just did a rolling downhill slope quickly. And I stayed there Monday from 2 in the afternoon till midnight. I didn't leave his side until the family got there Monday night at midnight.
So
And
he did have family members with him when he died, right?
yes, his one daughter got there at the hospital Monday night, and they stayed in the room with him. I had to go home. I got about 2 hours sleep before a 24-hour shift the next day, and but I'm getting my days mixed up. Forgive me. What's today? Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
So Tuesday.
Thursday.
Yeah, Tuesday is the day they sent him home. Because when he yelled out loud, I want out of here. And everything else he said for the last 24 hours, you couldn't understand. But when he said that, you could hear him. There was no question. So they made it happen. But they went to the pharmacy and the doctor prescribed, it was like a liquid morphine and a liquid Ativan for pain and anxiety. And that's pretty much what very popular for giving someone on their last moments of life for comfort and pain management. But anyhow, I met the ambulance there, and I helped get him into bed, and I said at one point I wanted to make sure he knew I was there, and I saluted him and said, "Hey, buddy, I told him I wasn't a soldier, but it was the best I could do to."
Well, the thing of it is, Ron, is you have to know inside your heart, you gave him everything that he needed at the end, and he was as important to you as you were to him.
Yeah. He is one friend guy. I mean, all of us have lost family members and friends and everything, but this one is different than all others. I didn't shed a tear to family members. What freaking family I had, but yeah, yesterday was pretty tough. Or Tuesday.
Now, when is it?
But anyhow, I helped get him into bed and had my time with him, and then I left. And then yesterday morning I was clocking out of work, and as soon as I hit the time clock button, my phone rang, and it was the daughter. Said, "Ronnie he just passed away 5 minutes. Whoa, dog, get off the road."
When is the funeral, or what's the arrangements?
I don't know. I don't know what they have planned. There was so much up in the air.
I didn't know if he was going to be buried or if he's going to be cremated, or.
I think he wants to be cremated, but I think there's still going to be a burial. The one of the national cemeteries is in Sturgis, South Dakota, and that's where he has requested to be. I was trying to honor, whatever the family, help them in any way I can. It's all in their hands now.
Yeah,
they're here. But I've got another task at hand. I am filming a coworker's wedding this weekend.
Oh.
And somehow I've got to put on a smiley face.
Happy face, yeah.
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 I don't want Lisa to know. And I know she's going to ask me, how he's doing. So I got to lie to her and tell her everything's fine. Because this is not my time. This is her time.
Yep, exactly. Yep,
so-
she's at stage 1 of starting her new life, you know.
Yeah. And I made a commitment to her. I promised I would be there, and so I'm gonna fake a smiley face and.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't know if you've thought about it or not. Are you taking the cat in?
No. No. There is a worry. Like I said, that cat laid there with him for hours yesterday.
Who's going to look after him?
But anyhow, that's where I'm going for the weekend. I'm gonna do a little fishing. It's south of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, where it's not far from where that big avalanche was the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but Don would want me to do that, and so that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Well, I just didn't know if because of the cat had such a connection to Don, whether or not you were going to take the cat.
No, I can't have an animals at my house. I called an old friend of mine who was the previous owner of that cat. He's back in Pennsylvania. He's going to talk to his wife because that cat won't leave the house. She is so attached to that house and to Dawn, and yeah. But anyhow, my whole thing, guys, I want we've had Dawn on your show before, Pat or Paul.
Yeah.
You've met him, and
well, we appreciate you being here, but we don't appreciate the circumstances. We feel sorry for you, feel sorry for the family, but I personally feel Don is in heaven and he's received his glory.
Yeah. Like I said, Tuesday morning or Tuesday when they brought him home, like I said, I'm so thankful to my bosses just saying, "Run, get out of here, and come back when and if you can and if you want." Yeah. They said, "You want to take the rest of the day off, you do it." They were just so supportive, and anyhow, I said, "You know what? Screw it." I left, and I got there in time, helped the ambulance crew. I said, "Hey, if we're competition," I say, "Hey guys, I'm just here to help, and you guys know who he is to me," and they did. So I helped them out of the ambulance and into the house and into bed, and and that was important to me.
Was the cat happy to see him back?
Oh God, like I said, she jumped up in bed with him. She would not move.
Right away, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. We actually even brought the neighbor Monday night, the one neighbor who's been a good friend to Dawn. She's a good person, but she brought the cat to the hospital, and we kind of broke some hospital rules and brought the cat. The nurses said we didn't see shit. So yeah.
So the cat was glad to see him even in the hospital, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. She jumped right up in the bed. He was. What's weird was I was with him for 5 hours by myself, and he slept the whole time. But when Beth got there with the cat jumped up in bed with him. He kind of aroused and opened up his eyes and reached over and petted her.
Oh. Yeah, they definitely had a bond.
Yeah. So anyhow, guys, I don't want to keep you
Ron.
down your show, but I just want to let you guys know, and just Paul, because you've known him.
Yeah.
I called Lynn. I let her know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he is a great guy.
I got about 5 hours of windshield. He is. Okay. I got about 5 hours of windshield time here, and I'm gonna do some trout fishing while I'm out there this weekend.
Lines, Ron.
Hey, Ron, you just froze up, buddy.
We might
Well, I think I'm losing connection with you.
Yeah, yeah, we're losing connection.
But like I said, if you get a chance, Paul, look it up, Pinedale, Wyoming,
Okay.
and just, yeah. So, well, guys, have a good day.
Okay, Ron. Thanks for stopping by and letting us know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Take care,
All
guys.
right. Cheers. See you, Ron.
Hello.
Morning, all.
Just on my.
Hi, Lance.
When you want a friend like Ron, you know, if you're in that position, you're muted, Paul.
He's on the phone.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lance.
What's up, Lance?
Sit there and they'll do Instagram
Morning,
videos
Joe.
while they're driving a car and no.
How are you guys?
We're doing all right.
Good. Exit. I need exit.
Oh,
I'm in a
you know,
parking
your,
garage.
you know
You
your
guys still
profile
hear me?
picture. Or not. You know your profile picture, Mark? I don't remember the guy on the horse. And also, I don't remember that thing on the right-hand side. Whatever it is. I do remember a boat and an iron, as in a flattening iron, you know?
Yeah. A top hat, a dog, a car.
Yeah, all those things. I don't know about the symbol, but anyway, the hat, the boot, the car, the dog, yes. Also a boat and an iron. I don't remember the guy on the horse, or whatever that thing is on the bottom right hand side. What is that?
I am not sure, actually. Let me have a look at the picture and see.
Zoom into your thing.
Yeah.
Move your head.
Am I in Studio B? Is this the right
No,
place?
no.
You're over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving the parking garage. I just flew on top. I just went to the top floor. I didn't know there were so many floors here. My goodness. Taking me forever to get out of here. Flew my Air 2S and my Sphere. I left that POS about a 2 in its case.
A piece of shit.
And headed to work, hoping to hand out my last 5 or 6 yearbooks. Get those all taken care of.
There you go. Well, I almost pulled the trigger on the drone this morning.
And a DJI, I know it wasn't a DJI.
It was Autel.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not sure what
Almost.
that is, Michael. It almost looks like a tankard or something.
Paul says it's a wheelbarrow, which is upside down. And that would make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't see it anymore because your head's in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think,
Yeah, wheelbarrow. There you go. You can see.
yeah, I think it is a guy on a horse.
Yeah, guy on a horse.
Where is
That's a guy on a horse. Yeah.
Bottom
Yeah.
right is a wheelbarrow flipped on its, top of him.
Yeah, the wheelbarrow. I can't tell what that one thing is.
your exit?
I don't know that it's a wheelbarrow.
Yeah. Imagine if it was turned the other way around. It's upside down. Michael's explained
Oh
it in
yeah,
the chat.
yeah, it's upside down. You're
I mean,
right. Yeah,
you can see the front wheel
Yeah.
yeah.
and the supports for the two wheels at the back. Or even there might be wheels. There might be bars.
I made it out.
So what are you
Yeah.
doing today, Lance?
Headed to work on my
Heading
way.
to work, okay.
Only a couple more days and you won't be seeing the top of my car.
Okay,
Hi,
you're
Warren.
gonna cut it off.
Donald.
No, because I won't be driving to work in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Lance, there's an awesome 3-ball in the US Open. Scheffler,
Oh yeah?
Scheffler,
I have,
Schauffele,
Okay.
Scheffler, Schauffele, and McIlroy.
I have DeChambeau. I picked DeChambeau.
Bryson.
Scheffler was picked first. I picked second, and I picked DeChambeau.
Well, he hits it long, and he's relatively accurate. So yeah, I mean, it is quite tree lined. You've got to be accurate, and it's a long course. I think it's 7,700 this weekend.
And the chance of Scheffler winning, not Scheffler or Scheffler, either of them, the chance of them winning 2 in a year are not great. So
No, that's true.
So that's why I didn't pick. I could have picked Schauffele, and I didn't just because of that, because he won the last one, and it's hard to win back to back.
Yeah, true.
And Chambly was the second highest.
DeChambeau.
Yeah, was the second highest when I picked. So tied with Xander. They were both. And I thought, well, I'll take the long hitter. Although he's not as bulky as he was a couple years ago. He's changed his, rip and grip.
Yeah, he did a lot of gym work to get a bit too bulky, really. Get his own way. Yeah.
And he would just rip it, and he didn't matter where he landed. He would just rip it again. And it was pretty successful for him, but I don't know why he went away from it, because he's not nearly as successful now. But yeah, I've got him. I've got, who else do I have? I have 5 guys.
Hi, TJ.
I'd have to look, but my 5 guys, I don't have a real good field. I don't think I've got a chance of winning this year, this time, but we'll see. I wanted Homa, but he was picked just before I picked, and I cursed the guy that picked him.
Hello, TJ. Hello, Don.
Yeah,
I've
not even put a bet on it this time because it's unpredictable first.
And I think Rory is past his. I just don't think he's got the focus to win another one.
I don't know. There's a chance, but
Who's Rory? Is that McIlroy?
Yeah, McIlroy's Rory.
Is he American or Irish?
Irish.
So, Joe, did you buy that other drone or no?
No. I'm thinking about it though.
You're still watching it?
Paul will buy it. Paul will buy it for you. Just talk.
Well,
Or it is on eBay.
what I was gonna tell him, Lance, is he doesn't need to buy another drone because you're gonna send him yours.
I'll send him all my DJIs here in about 6 months.
Well, let me tell you
We
what
got a link to.
This is the Autel Evo 2 Pro V3.
Let's see it.
It's got the we have to pull it up. It's got the it's got 4 batteries, smart controller, case, everything. $2,000.
Share the screen.
Man, I got it on different. I got to pull it over here.
I think
We'll find it.
what's it?
It's a different world, you know. I am not a world guy.
So the issue with the Autel is the reveal. When you try to reveal a shot, it's jumpy. The camera
Yeah, I
is
know.
really jumpy. And my buddy who is into cinematography doesn't like the Autel, and he has it just because of that. It's just too jumpy. You can't get a smooth transition.
Well, Hodges has got one, hasn't he?
I think Alex Escargot has one. I don't know who else does. I bet Marcus Crawford has a ton of them.
No.
I don't know. I don't think he has any Autels.
The Nano and the Light Plus.
Marcus has every drone that's ever
Known to
made.
man. Huh?
Yeah, known to man. That's what I was going to say. Known to man.
I know Dustin Dunhill's got the Evo 2.
Okay, I'm trying to get it to do it. That's it right there. Yeah, that's it right there. It comes with the smart controller, 4 batteries, the case, a bunch of other stuff, and it runs right at $2,039.
Buy it, Paul. Buy it, Paul.
Huh.
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
batteries.
That's a little steep.
Yeah.
Well,
mean,
in
It's
6 months, you're not going to
860.
recline
It's a good buy because that would normally be about
$28.99.
28, yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing of it is that at my age, you notice the controller. I'm so used to a DJI smart controller that I'd have a hell of a time working that. Even though they all work basically the same, they don't.
Yeah, you got a point. I like the fact that it's a smart controller.
Yeah.
I like the fact
I
that
like it.
it's not
It's lovely.
DJI, but it's still on it. It's still Chinese, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, because when you
So what
put
they're
your
gonna
phone
do-
in those things, it takes you, it hijacks your phone, doesn't it? And you might get a call or something or whatever. It's a
No,
pain
there's
in the
no
arse.
phone on this. No phone on
That's
this.
what I
Just
mean.
a smart controller.
When it's got its own screen, it means that it doesn't hijack your phone. It's good, you know, much better like that.
Yeah.
I prefer them. If, you know, had I decided to whether buy one.
Yeah, I thought about it. I'll put it this way. I had it all the way ready to go and I changed my mind.
Just send it or do it.
No, I can't. I can't.
I don't think that necessarily. I mean, even though it's a good buy, I don't think that he would be happy with it because you've been acclimated to DJI.
Well, I flew Johnny's Light Plus, and I
Yeah.
really liked the way it flew, but I didn't really play around with the gimbal or anything like that, you know.
Right.
And I've heard horror stories. I've heard stories from Marcus about Autels giving them problems and trying to get it fixed and getting it back, and it's still been doing the same thing and everything else.
Right.
And that's the only reason it's stopping me.
Sounds
Did I
like
tell
the
you what I
about
did?
it.
Yeah, then I got my daughter driving me nuts right now. So that's
I
my
hate it when
daughter's
that
got. Yeah, my daughter's got me pissed right now. I am so pissed with her, and I'm about to tell her. Well, sorry. Cause she always leans on me to bail her out.
That's what kids
And
are for.
well, yeah, she needs to not be a kid anymore. She's a nurse. She makes good money, but she said, I wasn't happy. I switched jobs. So she switched jobs so she don't get paid for 3 weeks. So she's got bills, right? So she's got to pay a bill. Guess what bill it is? Insurance. A car insurance. It's got to be paid by today.
Wow.
So she don't have the money for it. So she said, can you help me? I said, I paid you money last month and you paid me back for your car insurance. This month I can't do it because now I'm at that point where everything's got to go to my bills. So she's got me. I told her, call them up and see if they'll give me an extension. I said, but in 5 days, you're not gonna have the money either, huh? She goes, no. I said, then see if you can change the policy, take the collision off and drop it down to about $200 instead of $400. And I said, and then I'll put it on a credit card and you better pay me back.
What kind of car is it?
Well, it's that Volkswagen Passat she's got. But she knows what. Let me tell you what they do. Now I'm gonna tell you. She lives there with a boyfriend and a mom. They don't cook at home. They want to go out to eat, but they don't just go out to eat. They got to drink, and then they don't have enough money to pay bills. You see what I mean? And I told her, I said, I'm paying you insurance so you can go out and drink and eat. I said, you were making $30 an hour, working at night and coming home during the day with your daughter. Well, she wasn't sleeping well. It don't matter what, she'll sleep well. Leave her alone. She'll learn how to sleep well. She's a year and a half old. Well, I wanted to spend more time with her. So you had all day with her. Now she's going to work days, so she'll have nights with her. I said, you're going to sleep most of the time. I said, so you're not making any sense. And you're working less days, making the same money. I understand that. But you got a 3-week gap where you don't have any money, and your boyfriend ain't paying the rent he's supposed to be paying. So y'all covering him. He's just living there. You need to kick his ass out.
Yeah.
You know, I said, he needs to pay. He gets paid tomorrow. He needs to pay your insurance.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's going to be able to. Well, that's because he don't want to go to work. He just takes a day off.
Whose boyfriend is it? Is it hers or?
It's hers.
Okay, I thought maybe it was mother's boyfriend.
Now, the best part about it, the ex makes a lot of money. But like I said,
They drink it
they
up.
don't know how to manage it. They don't know how to manage it. And I said, I'm the one y'all always fall back on trying to get me to help.
Michael, looking at it, it looks like it's the American version because nearly all the street names on it are avenues.
And then, Paul, she said, she invited me yesterday to come over Father's Day. She said she was going to invite David's parents over and they were going to do a big pot roast. I said, how you going to do a big pot roast if you can't pay your insurance?
Yep.
Yeah.
I said, so count me out. I'm not going. I'm not coming over. I got a credit card. I could put it on, but I don't want it on the credit card because she ain't never going to pay me back. Then I'm going to have to pay it off.
Yeah.
And I told her that the other day. I said, you know how much you owe me, right? And I gave her the figure. And I said, over the last 10 years, if you'd have paid me this money back, I'd have had that money in the bank. And I would have said, yeah, here. I said, but you figure, oh, he don't need it.
What do you want? What do you want? I ain't gonna let her stress me out. She's the one that if she can't pay her insurance, it's gonna be fines on it. She's gonna be driving illegal. It's gonna be her, you know, and then it's gonna cost her $200, $400 the first day in fines.
And there's certain things you pay on time, like your rent and your insurance and your electric and your phone. You gotta have those.
Gotta have utilities.
You gotta have all of that done. That you gotta look at your paycheck. And when, if you make, say you make $2,000 on the paycheck and your total bills for the month are $1,500, you better take $750 out that first paycheck. So you could take $750 out the next paycheck and then have to say, well, I only got 300 left because I had to pay everything else.
Hey, Donald, good morning.
What's up, Don?
Morning, guys.
I don't know.
Out in the garage working on the buggy.
No, I'm getting ready to. I was out. I shot a commercial. Yep. I need to clean up this garage. I shot a commercial for Napa yesterday,
Yeah.
and one of the shots had a guy had the wrong part, and he's in front of his car, and so we wanted to have him call Napa. And we forgot to get the shot. We were so excited about getting the shoot done that the agency guy forgot to have me shoot the guy picking up the phone and calling. We got the other end of the conversation, but not that. And he called and asked what we could do, and I was like, "Well, I'll just put Napa in my cell phone, stand in the garage where I've got like a floor jack like down in the floor in the background, and put Napa in my phone." And dial it and have it calling Napa. So I'm just doing a pickup shot for that.
What is Napa?
Napa is an auto parts store.
All right.
But so yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Or this morning. And I found out I put in because I didn't want to have to keep calling an actual number and talking to somebody. I just put in my phone what you see in the movies all the time, 555-555-5555. It calls the Naval Observatory clock.
I thought 55 was
I didn't think it called anything for real, but I guess it now actually calls something for real.
Yeah. I always thought that was the reason they used 555 because nothing actually started with that.
That's what I thought, but it actually picked up and I heard a voice. I was like, oh, holy crap, who am I calling? Here, I'll put it on speakerphone.
Yeah, so if you just put that in your internal phone book under the app, then that's what comes up on the screen, isn't it? Yeah.
U.S. Naval Observatory Master Clock at the tone, Mountain Daylight Time, 7 hours, 47 minutes, 30 seconds. Universal Time, 13 hours, 47 minutes, 35 seconds. U.S. Naval Observatory Master Clock at the tone, Mountain Daylight Time.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's kind of cool.
Well, Universal Time is, what's it? That's GMT.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah, it's 14:47 here now. It's British summertime. So yeah.
Greenwich Mean Time for all of you novices. Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
UTC stands for Universal Time Clock.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, Donald. So you discovered something.
Yeah, I was like, that's kind of neat. I guess
It's a school day.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to be able to dial 1, 2, 3 and get the speaking clock. I don't know whether
ours locally here
you still can.
Ours here locally used to be 2211. 624-2211. But it was sponsored by a bank.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was always used. The time sponsored by Accurist is.
That's right.
I've not tried to phone 1, 2, 3 in God knows how many years. Because why phone and ask what the time is when the time is on your phone?
You want to go in, Lou?
My watch has an atomic clock communication function where it has 6 bands. And wherever you are on the planet, it will pick up a signal, and that signal will contain a time prompt. So the phone, sorry, so the watch will keep itself accurate wherever you are, and it's awesome.
I've got the atomic clock app on my phone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a watch that's got an atomic time, and I think one of the clocks in the house has got it as well.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it has.
Yeah, super accurate too.
Can't remember which one it is now, like, but
you know why they're so accurate?
Yeah, it uses the half-life decay of some
cesium. Yeah. Cesium has a very predictable, decay, so they can.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god!
I haven't used my. I was gonna hit my passcode, and I just realized I have forgotten my passcode for my. And it should be easy. I should.
Your birthday, wife's birthday, wedding anniversary.
No, I mean I've just used it. You ever have a number that you use all the time that just goes out of your head for momentarily?
Of course, yeah.
Occasionally, but not very often.
The trick is not to think about it too much because you're adding new memory. So just think of something else.
I do not have a business. I'm 82 years old and retired.
I have a business. Maybe I won't work.
No, Paul's got.
Maybe they want to talk to me.
Paul's got a phone call.
Yeah, he needs to start muting.
I thought he was 72, not 82.
I got a call yesterday. They told me, they said, we're calling for Joseph. I said, speaking. They said, we'll let you know that you've qualified for a brand new glucose meter and we're going to send it to you. I said, no, you're not. Don't send me that shit. I said, and take me off your freaking list. I'll tell you that every time you call me. I said, call me again. I'll call the FCC.
You know why they do it, don't
boy, they hung up quick.
Yeah, it was my birthday.
They send you.
But I couldn't remember what format. I mean,
we
it
had
was
you
just.
muted, Paul.
What's
They
that?
send you a
I said we
glucose
had you muted.
so that you have to keep buying their test strips.
Oh, I know. That's what it's about. Don't send me shit, you know.
Mm.
I keep getting these phone calls on my cell phone that from Google Business, they want to update my listing, my business listing. And I says, what business listing? And so finally I selected, instead of just hanging up, I selected talk to somebody, and I got an agent, and he went into the spiel about, we need to update your listing. And I said, what listing? I said, I'm 80 years old. I says, I don't have any listings. And he says, well, we have you down with Kansas City Flag Car. I said, that was back in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, well, we'll take you off the list. Thank you.
I guess I need a memory card if I want to record something, don't I?
Yeah, that would work. Yeah, I flew the Avata 1 day before yesterday, and
Depends
didn't have
on
a
where you
card in it,
recorded
didn't
it.
realize it.
You didn't have a card in it? Oh my.
Yeah, but I had enough memory in it to record.
How much should a 64 gigabyte card cost? Yeah, a real one, because I don't know, and that puts me in a bit of a danger.
It depends on what
Get
quality.
It depends
Oh, yeah,
on
just a
which
reasonable
RAM.
quality, like a SanDisk type SD card.
Only like
What should I
5 or 6
expect to
quid.
pay? How much,
About 5
Mark?
or 6 quid. About 5 or
Sorry,
6
Mike.
quid.
You're breaking up. Did you say
Micro or
500?
regular?
No, about £5 or £6.
Oh, £5 or £6 for a 64 gigabyte. Okay.
Well, I just bought 2 Lenovo 512 gigabyte cards for £9.99 each.
Oh, really?
They work. Yeah, they work.
Have you checked them? They're fine. They
Yes.
work, do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I formatted it and put it in my drone. Well, I put it in my drone and formatted it on the drone, and it says it's got 497 gigabytes free.
Okay. It's just that I don't want to get ripped off, and it's so fucking easy these days.
It costs
But yeah,
us more for ours.
They're not too expensive now.
Right. Okay. So I can expect to pay a tenner for a 64 gig, like a regular
At the
card.
most. Yeah,
At the most. Really? Okay.
For
A 64
SanDisk.
gig over here is 1123, and a
Ah, okay.
128 is 1999.
Is that dollars, Joe?
That's
Yeah.
dollars.
And obviously, yeah. Dollars.
$13 would be a tenner.
And that's 64 gig, Joe.
At 64, it was 1123.
Okay, thank you.
So that's about £9.
Right.
The thing is, if you double the size of the memory card, you only actually add a couple of quid to the price
Sure, yeah.
until you get to the 1 gigabytes and 1 terabytes and 2 terabytes and things like that.
Yeah.
Then they get silly prices.
There's two 64 gig micro SD cards.
Do you reckon that's
Yeah,
real?
but I wouldn't use those though.
This is on
Because there's no
Amazon.
brand name on it. I'd use that SanDisk underneath here.
Another thing as
64 for
well.
1127.
Yeah, that looks okay. The SanDisk under there. But here's the thing. Are they what they call Class 10?
Class
They read
10,
and write.
Class 10, which has a U3 rating, will do 4K.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. Okay.
That's what I use in
Does it-
mine. I've used the
It
128.
doesn't need to be super duper fast as far as I'm concerned. But here's the thing as well. If it comes with like a larger SD card converter, like a little thing
Yeah.
that it fits in, that means I can stick it in the side of my telly. Because obviously my telly doesn't take a mini
Yeah,
tiny
that's a full-size SD card, yeah.
Yeah. And they're a little less easy to lose as well if they're in that big thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because mine came with that as well.
Well, there you go. Look at that. Perfect. That's exactly what I would be wanting to get. How big is that?
128 gig.
Okay. So that's going to be
Yeah.
$15 or
I paid
$20.
about, $30.
If you want it to, if you want it to,
$30
yeah, if you want it to do 4K and
I don't, yeah. But,
stuff like that, it's the Extreme is the better one to get if you're getting SanDisk,
okay.
rather than the Ultra doesn't do 4K.
128K gigabyte. Yep. Extreme scan disk.
Mm.
It's
Well,
SanDisk, but I call it scan disk. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
had a
still
128
amazed.
and the Avata 2 that's in the bottom of the ocean.
But don't you think it's awesome
The
that you
thing
can
is, even
fit that
though
much
the-
information on a tiny
even
piece of
though-
silicon?
I'm
Yeah, even though
surprised,
the
Joe, you
drone-
haven't gone back out there and tried to get that baby.
It's crazy.
That thing's probably halfway to New Orleans already.
Was there a
Even
big
though the
current there?
drone is
Oh,
so
yeah.
much more expensive than the memory card, it's the memory card you bothered about losing because it had all the stuff on that you just done.
Oh, I know. That's why I said I'm gonna probably buy. I just bought a brand new one to put in the Avata 2. I mean the Avata. And when I get everything settled, then I'll probably buy a couple of extra, and then keep them with me so that if I fly a flight, I can take it out and change it and put another one in to fly another flight, so I don't lose both of them.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of putting smaller cards into your drone. You have to keep changing them every so often. You put a
What?
big card,
Well,
you put a
I
big card
reformat
in,
them
you
for
end
each
up
flight.
with far too much stuff on them.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I
if
don't.
you
I could
if you
put a
figure out
32 in
how
mine.
much you record, if you figure out how much you record on a standard flight, that's the size card you should buy. That way, when you have a card shit to bed, you don't lose all the extra
Yeah, exactly.
storage.
Yeah, there's an eggs in a basket kind of scenario with most things like that.
So just figure out
That's
how
right.
much you record on your average, maybe a little bit more than what you record on your average flight, or maybe record what you would record on a heavy flight. and buy that size.
Mind
Yeah,
you,
that's
one
a
of the
good
nice
idea.
things about the drone like the Mini 3 Pro and probably the ones after that is that they do a wireless transfer.
Oh yeah,
And
that is useful.
You can actually transfer everything that's on the memory card in the drone onto your
Yeah.
phone.
I had a camera that did that, and it was really cool. Very cool indeed. You didn't have to piss around taking the thing out.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's going to be the camera that I put in the glider.
Yeah, I like micro SD cards because they're very convenient. I mean, they're small and all that for these drones, but why don't they make the slot for those slightly proud so you don't have to be yanking battery and then getting something and pushing in with something, a tool.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it
Yeah.
slightly
Not
proud.
everyone. Not
If you
everyone
don't
has
have good
nails.
fingernails. Yeah.
Yeah. Not everyone does have good fingernails.
I actually, you know something, even though my fingernails are good enough to get them out, I actually carry a pair of tweezers in my drone bag.
I've
All it
got
would take.
I've got a card reader in here that I put the card in. I can put it in, take it out, no problem. Very easy.
All it would take would be to have a little button that you pressed, and it would push the card. It would unclip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The card reader that I've got, the card only goes halfway into it anyway, so it stands proud out of it, which makes it much easier anyway.
I had the same problem with GoPro. Same problem with GoPro. I have to take the battery out of the GoPro in order to get the card out.
Right, that's another thing. Yeah, when they put it next to the battery slot like that.
Because it's just so close, I can't get in there.
Yeah.
And so
I have a Casio camera that does that. Lovely camera.
Donald, were you on early enough to hear Ron's news?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been listening.
Right.
What a cool
That's a
dude,
shame,
man.
but
You
but
want
he
someone
thought-
like Ron. If you're end of life, you would want someone like Ron, wouldn't you? Sorry, Don, to speak over you. But my
Yeah,
God, what a cool dude to do that. Because he was right there. Imagine how much better he felt knowing that he had someone he could rely on
Yeah.
during that time. Yeah, meet someone like Ron. Okay.
Everybody needs somebody like Ron, you know?
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it makes me
everyone
want
does.
to grab the phone and call up a couple friends I haven't talked to in years. I talk to them on their birthdays and stuff like that. It's like,
Yeah.
I need to call and touch base with people.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today. I'm going to phone up a friend I hadn't spoken to for a while. I'll tell you yesterday what happened. Sorry, tomorrow. What am I on about?
Hey, does anybody know where I put my bag? There it is. For my
Yeah,
tripod.
Mark hid it there for you. Never hide his bag again, Mark.
Well, here's my question for you. Maybe one of you guys know.
Well,
It says down below in this live stream, there's 5 people watching now. Well, there's 5 people on the panel, so nobody's watching us.
not necessarily. Depends if you've
no,
got YouTube up or not.
Because I shouldn't be showing up as a viewer because I don't have YouTube open.
Yeah. T's watching. Daniel's watching.
Mm-hmm.
It only shows up on your YouTube if somebody's watching it on YouTube.
I take it
I'm
Lance
assuming-
has gone. He must have got to work.
Yeah, he was on his way, wasn't he?
Now, normally I would be one of those people because I leave my YouTube window open so I can interact with chat, but I had other stuff
Yeah,
going
well-
on today.
My
I
YouTube
don't
window's
know.
open, so I'm definitely there.
Yeah, TJ's on, W's on.
I don't know whether Warren's
I didn't
still
look the
on.
rest. So
Who cares?
it's probably about 10 of us.
Warren only left one message, and that was it.
I'm here to chinwag with you guys anyway.
Sorry, too.
All right, out. Load it.
Well, guys, what do you think?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
think
up to
you are needing an excuse to get out of here for some reason.
No, I don't. I don't really need an excuse. 'cause
No, he doesn't need an excuse. He just turns it off.
it just when we sit here and stare at ourselves, it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, but don't stare at yourself. Stare at me. I'm beautiful.
Yeah, we've been on an hour. People will start coming in soon.
Hey, Joe, did you hear what Don just said?
Yeah, I'm trying to ignore that.
You can't
Build
ignore
it
it
and they
when
will
you know,
come.
Joe. You can't ignore what you know is true in your heart.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I was plugging my charger into my phone, Michael.
Ah, okay, yeah, I thought just to let you know.
Oh, I
They
might.
had a they had a police chase in New Orleans yesterday. SUV and a car, and they wound up getting in an accident. And my son was sitting over here yesterday, and they showed the guy in the lineup. He was standing there. His eye was all puffed out. He had a big bandage on it. He had about 6 cuts on his head, and then he had a neck brace on. And he looked up there and said, "Oh, they don't beat his ass like that because he hit an automobile. He didn't hear the part. He didn't hear the part about the automobile. But what happened is he hit an automobile, off-duty police officer with kids in the car."
Uh-huh.
And he looked up there, and then they showed the accident. He said, "Oh no!" He did. And I said, "Well, there was an off-duty police officer and his kids in the car." He said, "He probably beat his ass too." But I said they even made him stand up to get his mugshot with the neck brace on. He was beat up. This guy, he had cuts all over him.
Dang. Have you guys looked at the new 360?
No,
That thing is
It's
tiny.
small, isn't it?
yeah, that's what I heard. It's real small,
I mean, we're getting suppository size.
It's about
sort of like
Yeah,
Justin, real small.
it's about half the size of the original Go. It looks like it's about 1.5 inches by a half
They are
inch.
pulling off shots. They're pulling off shots with it. I mean, I guarantee it's going to be thirsty for light, but so was the probe lens. But they're pulling off shots that I would have used a probe lens a few years ago with. I would have.
What, you
I would
mean-
have.
Where they put it inside a coffee grinder.
Yeah, like when you can like get right into things, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're doing those kind
Oh,
of shots. They just stuck this thing flat on the end of a pole and are using it like I would have used a probe lens. The Laowa probe lens was like a 14 millimeter aspect ratio, or a 14.
Field of view.
Yeah, field of view. Wow, that's pretty impressive. I'm really kind of curious what the compression on that looks like. That's the one benefit of using a probe lens, because you can hook a probe lens up to a nicer camera, get a little better bit rate.
They're quite cheap as well now. They do
Like you can
like
get USB.
endoscopic things. Yeah, you can. You can buy USB powered endoscopic cameras for like a tenner or something. It's kind
Yeah,
of silly.
that actually plug
Yeah.
into your phone.
Yeah.
Those aren't the best
They're
quality
brilliant.
glass.
No.
I mean, they work for
Mm.
examining stuff, or if you lose
Yeah.
a screw in an engine and you're looking, yeah, definitely worth. For shooting like commercials and stuff,
Oh yeah.
I've used a probe lens a few times. I did it for a pizza joint once, and it's like you put that down just right on the tabletop, right above the pizza, and just a pull out across the top of the pizza, and it makes the pizza look like a landscape.
Don't they call them macro? Would a macro lens do the same thing or not? I know very little about photography.
The size of it, macro lenses are huge compared to a probe lens.
Right. A probe lens is sort of a macro lens, but you can focus a little bit further away. But the benefit of a probe lens is that you can put it, I mean, it's
into things, into a well and have a look inside it,
It's maybe a little bit, probably about that size, and so you just get right down on top of something, and as you come back across, it's got that wide angle lens up here, and so you're revealing things, and it just makes things look like.
I see what you mean. Yeah, so it can make the top of a cardboard box make it look as if it's a floor or something. So it gives it a different aspect.
It just makes it look huge. And a macro, since it's not that size of a lens, it'll be a larger lens to standard macro. You're going to have to do this with it to get down onto the subject. And I've used macro lenses for like jewelry shots and stuff before, but.
Yeah, macro lenses are good for photographing flowers and insects and things like that.
So the standard lens attachment, it's kind of like it's like 2 buttons and a bayonet fit, isn't it? I mean, I'm talking about my little OM10 35mm camera that I could screw lenses on off of. Now that lens attachment is a standard fitting. Does the probe fit on that?
No, there's no real standard.
It's a specific to Olympus. Yours. Yeah. Each camera company has its own type of fitting, but you can buy.
I used Nikon lenses and all sorts on my OM10.
Right. With an adapter. So, like.
No, not with an adapter. There you go. There
is a Sony. Right there's a Sony mount.
Sony mount.
And my Canon will not. What? He's got the lower lens right there. Yeah. So that's a Sony mount right there.
Yeah.
I can't use my Canon lenses on it, so I have to put my adapter.
Oh, I see. Do you know what I think happened? The guy I used it off of had an Olympus camera. He had the same camera as I did. So no doubt it had something on it that made it compatible anyway.
That's it, lens. I mean? That's great. That's a fun lens. It's a very specific, it's for a very specific shot. So it's not a lens that you just want to have and use all the time.
Yep.
But that goes on to the front of the camera, doesn't it? If you looked at that, it's quite fat, so it screws on just like a regular lens and then goes narrow.
Okay. If you look at the lens,
they have a new version of that.
Has the lens actually got an adapter fitted onto it already, or is it has it had the bayonet fitting changed?
Where?
It's unlikely they can change it. I would imagine that it must already have an adapter plate fitted
for the probe lens.
No, for the one that Michael, the Nikon lens.
No, like I said. Yeah. No, like I said, probably my audio didn't go through, but the guy who I would be borrowing the lenses off, the different ones that weren't Olympus. No doubt he already had an adapter on there for his Olympus. Do you know what I mean? I just didn't realize it. Now, obviously, borrowing lenses, and a couple of these were, according to him, a couple of £1,000 each, and we were just trying them out. But they fitted on there, but probably on account that they already had a piece, as you described, like what would you call it? An adapter, from one thing to another. Yeah. I was under the impression that it was a very standard fitting, though. That's the thing. It turns out
every manufacturer has a different fitting, and every manufacturer usually has a couple different fittings depending on because they'll retire them every once in a while. So you have to.
Yeah,
they retire them before you have to buy new glass.
Yeah, it sucks. Never mind.
Hey Lance, have you seen the new version of that probe lens that does a 90-degree?
Yeah, I don't have the 90-degree one. I wish I did.
It's even more specific. It's even more bizarre. It's like. It's such a niche lens already, and to make a 90-degree version.
Yes.
That's just
and they also make adapters that and I don't think mine is, I don't think I can attach one on mine. Mine's older, but I had kids do a plant sale commercial for our school, and they rolled this through the plants. You know,
Mhm.
again, it's pretty cool on a slider.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, just a kind of a reveal, like your pizza idea. But it was.
Yeah, I did that with my Venus flytrap one year.
The glass. So you need a special tool to do that. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that will be an interesting shot. Actually, putting the probe lens into the fly trap so it closed on it.
Fly
would be
traps
small
are a
enough.
little bit smaller than that. Even your biggest ones are about an inch, maybe slightly more than an inch.
So the probe lens would be
Right.
too big to put in.
Would be a good shot though. It'd be lovely to see that.
Yeah, I've got. If I want to get a shot, it would be really good to get a tight shot of the trigger hairs on the
Yeah.
trap.
You see, it usually doesn't shut completely tight anyway, so you can generally see the poor fly there behind the bars.
No, what happens is you have 3 trigger hairs on each side of the leaf, and you have to hit one of the hairs twice or 2 of the hairs at once, and it'll trigger a initial close, and it'll just get the fingers shut. And
Okay.
then if it's like a raindrop or something, or something had just triggered it, wind or something,
Oh,
and
I
there's nothing in
see.
there, it doesn't want to waste the
Yeah.
energy
Right,
of
yeah.
digesting, so it'll open back up. But
I love
if the
that.
fly's
Yeah,
in
the
there, it'll
conditional.
start moving around, and
I had
triggering the
Yeah,
trigger
yeah.
hairs more will cause it to actually, the palms
Yeah.
will push together, and then it'll start putting the digestive
So
juices
it's
up.
almost like logic gates, like computing, you know. So if pod is closed and triggered, you know, and hairs are triggered, that's like confirmation of capture. So it'll go full investment into the taking
Yeah,
the good stuff out
unfortunately,
of
I'm
the
down
fly.
to about 17 fly traps now. At one time, I
Okay.
had I accidentally killed off a bunch of my. I didn't predict a freeze to be as hard as the freeze was going to be.
Right.
And killed off almost my entire collection. But at one time, I had thousands of them. I had them lined up all the way around the deck by the pool.
Yeah, isn't the trick to feed them fuck all, have no nutrients, and just have very, very low quality soil and all sorts of stuff like that? I don't know, of course, but yeah, because that's what they've
You're absolutely
adapted
right.
to, isn't it? That's why they have
Yeah.
to supplement their diets, as it were.
They don't have to.
Mm.
They don't need to eat flies or insects in order to survive. They'll survive just fine. They'll grow, but the additional nutrients does cause them to grow a little faster.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so a lot of people don't realize that the stuff that plants are made out of and everything that comes along with that, you know, the cellulose and whatnot, is a product of the photosynthesis and comes from the energy, you know, in the sun and the air. And the carbon dioxide in the air that's sequestered is what builds the plant. It's not stuff from the soil, although it takes water, of course, you know.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting thing.
The sun reacts with the chlorophyll.
Yep. Creates all the sugars and energy and whatnot.
Did Bill leave? Or Paul, I mean, did Paul leave?
Paul's here.
Paul's here, yeah.
Here.
But plants actually take in carbon dioxide and release oxygen.
But not all the time.
Except for at night.
There you go, yeah.
Yep. And that's why if you have too many pond plants in your garden pond, you can suffocate your fish at night.
Yeah. That's why I use plastic plants in my fish tank.
Paul, Lance has put a 360 video in the chat for you.
Is that the one you put on yesterday? I watched that.
I put it on today, this morning. It's an actual
one.
360 where you can drag around.
He says, make sure you watch it
It's
lest
not your
I
sphere,
fart
is
in
it?
your general direction, he says.
I watched the sphere you did yesterday.
Yeah, that was reframed. This one is where you can look around wherever you want to look.
All
It's
right.
an actual 360.
Yeah.
But it's of the same it's the same footage,
Great.
but
Right.
you get your choice to where to look.
Right.
I've sent you a T-shirt, Lance. It's got the words "cum sluts" written on it. I'm just wondering if it'll make you popular in the classroom.
All right. Thanks, Michael.
Dear.
Just to see. Mhm.
It's an editing T-shirt, hence the LUT at the end of it.
Let's see.
It's a new form of LUT.
Yeah, I'm seeing the seams.
Not sure about the light. The lighting's quite low, isn't it? I was thinking, could we watch this or? I don't suppose we can.
No, weren't yours all Venus tracks, or did you have the pitcher plant and a few others as well?
I had some Scarlet Bell pitcher plants. Right now I've got some and those went bye-bye as well. I had some sundews, the Drosera intermedia, and I don't have any of those left either. I've got one pitcher plant, or one type of pitcher plant left, and one sundew. But the
There are
sundew
lots
is
of
an
different types of
Australian
pitcher.
variety. Do what?
There's lots and lots of different types of pitcher, isn't there?
Yeah.
I had a couple once.
Are they possible to take cuttings from them?
Yes. In fact, a lot of my propagation that I'm doing now to increase my fly trap stock, you get a new leaf. Every maybe third new leaf that comes up, I'll go ahead and break it off. You need some of the white, and go ahead and plant it next to it. And you, depending on your environment that you have it in, usually get around a 50% strike rate on it and get some new plants off of it. My strike rate is a little above that, but not much.
What do they do in the wild? I guess, do they have seeds or anything? I wonder if do they have seeds? The plants, the pitcher plants.
Did you say seeds?
Yeah, the Venus flytraps.
Yeah, they'll shoot up a flower scape, and your fly trap is probably going to only grow about that tall. The scapes will extend up like 12, 13 inches above.
What are you
plant.
saying? Skates. What are you saying?
Yeah, flower scape. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Like something
So-
that a flower will end up growing onto.
Yeah, it'll be so you have the main flower stem coming up, but a scape it'll have multiple flowers at the end of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
And it sucks some energy out of the plant. And a lot of people don't like to do it because they're scared that they'll kill it. But I've in fact I threw out thousands. I will trim those flowers off, and those strike also. If you trim them off early and stick them in the ground, a lot of times you'll get a new plant off of that. But I let mine flower. But I would trim mine back and just throw the flowers away. I had thousands, like I said, and it was just too much work I didn't need more. And the ones I missed had grown up to a certain point that it wasn't going to hurt the flower to go ahead and flower. It had to suck the energy out to grow that much. So I just let them go ahead and flower. And the year before I killed off all of them, I had thrown away a little tiny pill jar of seeds that was packed full of probably 1,000 seeds or more.
And you
And I was
probably
like,
could have grown a bunch of plants in that, right?
I could have just done, yeah, seedlings. I've still got some pictures of when I was about middle of the way there on the fly trap. But they're heading somewhere. I think they might be on Facebook. But yeah, I was the weird uncle.
Yeah, well, everyone needs one.
Whenever I caught fly inside the house, I would hit it with fly swatter and injure it. And while it was still twitching, take it out, put it in a fly trap. But first, I would have a trial. I would give it an opportunity to confess its crimes. But then ultimately it would have to face punishment for the trespass that it had done against me, and it would get fed to a fly trap.
Pay for its transgression. Good.
That's almost as bad as people feeding live mice to the snakes.
Oh no. Fly and mouse, they are very different positions. Especially if the fly has mocked you and you know it by escaping the swatter.
If the mouse was running around my house and landing on my sandwich
There you go.
and stuff, I wouldn't mind feeding a mouse to a snake.
I used to feed my king snake mice all the time. And my cousin had a garter snake that was about 4.5 feet long. And every time he reached in the cage, that sucker would bite him. And he come over one day, knocked on the door, had the snake hanging from his hand, right? Biting him on his hand. Walked in, I said, "What you doing?" He said, "Where's the snake?" He said, "I'm tired of this snake." He walked in, dropped the snake in with the king snake. King snake saw the snake, grabbed the snake, ate the snake. He said, "He bit me for the last time." I said, "Boy, you cold-blooded." Yeah.
Well, snakes, they're not cuddly. They're not your friends. They look at you as, are you food or are you not food? If you're not food, are you warm? Okay, I'll use your warmth.
Yep.
But it's not,
Yeah.
snakes don't show
That's-
affection.
That sounds like some women too.
Yeah, there was a video a little while back where this girl was saying, "Hey, look at this, my friendly snake," and stroking it and whatnot. And she was kind of small, and this python was enormous. And she used to sleep with it and everything. And one thing I thought was, my God, if she was a little bit smaller, that snake would see her as a little food parcel and just end her very quickly. And if no one's in the house, she's not going to be able to do anything about it. I mean, she was like a skinny 6-year-old or 7-year-old child, nothing she could have done.
Well,
This
this king
python was
snake, I
enormous.
caught him when he was about 2 feet long, and he got to the point where he was in a big aquarium, and it got to the point where he could push the top off with a 20-pound weight.
Wow.
So we put a 50-pound weight on top of it, and he started to get that. He knocked that off one day, and we heard it, and we were looking for him, and he had the poodle cornered in the room, but he was going after the poodle.
Oh God.
So we had to grab the snake, and he was about 7.5 feet long by that point. So I picked him up. I went outside, and I went and got a burlap sack we had out in the back, put him in the sack, drove out to the boonies way out in Kenner, Louisiana, and just opened it up and let him go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Those snakes are now eating alligators and all sorts of things in the swamps.
Yeah, he was getting out of control. We had to let him go. He'd ate the dog. That wouldn't have worked. That wouldn't have worked for us because it was a little toy poodle. Wouldn't have worked.
Lots of people have done that with pet snakes.
What kind of snake was that?
King snake.
Mm.
Yeah, he was about 7.5 feet long when it was all over with when I let him go. Big snake.
And are they
Hey,
native?
Lance, that,
Are they
that,
to you?
that video of the greatest drone ever that crashed,
Yeah.
almost 1,100 views.
Ooh.
That's because it's the greatest drone ever.
Yep. Endorsed by Lance as the greatest drone ever.
Well,
Lance knows that he's muted.
I just heard a noise that I thought was in my kitchen, so I had to go and check. And it's
Endorsed
just the
by
window,
Lance.
window cleaner putting his ladder up against the side of the house.
Yeah. So you got a peeping Tom. Huh?
Now, window cleaner comes every 4 weeks, cleans all the windows on the house. Well, I only have the front ones done, so it's 2 bay windows, the 2 little door windows, and the bathroom window and the hall window, and that only cost me $5 for that.
When I managed the Pizza Hut, we had to make sure those windows were perfectly clean that you came in with, and they were a pain in the butt. You cleaned them about every 3 days just to keep them clean, and they were hard to keep clean. And we had a guy who used to come out about twice a week to clean the windows, right? And I told him, I said, man, I work out a deal with you. I said, what days you come here? He said, I'm always there on a Tuesday and a Friday. I said, that's good. I said, when you show up, I'll have a little personal pan pizza waiting for you. Is that good? So he'd tell me what time he was going to be there. I'd make a personal pan pizza. He'd come, he'd clean my windows, take the pizza, and leave. We didn't have to worry about the windows anymore.
Perfect deal.
Morning, Francois.
My area coach was there one day when he came in, and I was making a personal pan. I handed it to him, and she looked at me and she goes, well, what kind of deal you got going? I said, you like my windows, right? She says, yes. She said, yeah. I said, cost me 2 personal pans a week. You know, like that. She just laughed. She goes, oh, that's a good deal. We need to find that at all the stores.
What would be the cost to you of raw ingredients?
Raw ingredients on a personal pan pizza was somewhere in about 48 cents.
Wow, there you go.
So for about $1, I had him doing the windows that he was charging people like $15 a week to do.
Yeah. And how much did that cost to sell?
In retail price, it'd be $20 probably.
Used to, food cost on pizzas used to be around 20%. We tried to keep it.
Yeah,
But that
it was
includes
probably.
weight.
Well, his personal pan was a pepperoni that we made. So I had like 10 pieces of pepperoni on there, a little bit of sauce, a little bit of cheese, and a dough. You know, maybe 60 cents.
How much would that cost to buy if someone went in the shop?
$4.
$4.
It was $4 at the time.
Yeah, that's a cheap window cleaner.
Yeah, he was good. He liked the fact because he used to come in and buy the pepperoni pizzas, you know, the little personal pans. So I said, I'll make you a deal, clean my window, I'll give them to you. He's figuring he was making $4 a shot.
Yeah,
when you call it
5 minutes, he's doing good.
When you call it a personal pan, how big is it?
It was about I think 6 inches. 6 or 7 inches.
It was a 4-inch, wasn't it?
So it's a snack.
Was it a 4-inch pan?
It was the little round pan.
Yeah, I want to say it might have been 6 inches, but I think that was a 4-inch pan.
I'm thinking it was 6 inches. I'd have to look.
God.
It's been so long. I mean, I haven't worked at Pizza Hut since the mid-90s.
That's like a snack. That's not a meal.
Let me kill my video so I can check if it was 6 inches or not.
Well, it is
4 slices.
The personal pan is a thick crust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, it was actually kind of filling if you did it right. If you got a Supreme, it kind of filled you up for lunch.
Pan pizza is 6 inches in diameter.
6 inches, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And you want to hear the funny part? When I worked for them back in 1973, I found a pizza pan that was it was a small pan. It might have been a little bit bigger than a personal pan. So I used to come in there and all the scraps that we used to have to run back and forth. I used to make a little pizza and stuff it up in there and make my little personal pizza, and nobody would tell me anything. The personal pan pizza came out right after about 1976 or something like that in that neighborhood. And nobody else was looking at that, but my area coach was involved with a lot of the new, she worked there and there was a lot of the new products. And I looked at her and I said, that was mine, wasn't it? She goes, I can't tell you that. You know, she goes, I said, yeah, but I ought to get something for it. But nobody else was doing anything like that. I figured it was just
Jonathan.
waste. It was the stuff that we're gonna throw away. I just made a pizza with it.
Jonathan Jackson is in the house.
Jonathan
Jonathan.
Jackson family. And then she got me again. I told her that about last time I saw her was about 3 months ago. It was the first time I bought a Pizza Hut pizza in probably about 4 years. Walked in and she was in there. And I looked at it and I said, they just let anybody in this place, huh? She turned around and gave me a big hug. And I told her, I said, again, you owe me. She goes, what for? I said, the new menu. I said, now you got barbecue chicken pizzas and you got all of this. I said, you came in one day and I was making a barbecue chicken pizza with the barbecue sauce and the cheese and the chicken strips. And you're saying, what's that? And I told you. I said, so don't tell me I didn't have something to do with that too. She just smiled and didn't say a word.
It's kind of funny. You work in the pizza place, and pretty soon it's just like you started just, okay, what can I do? We had a Little Mac pizza. It was a Big Mac. Basically, you have to get some Thousand Island, get the hamburger and the onions, and top it with lettuce, and made ourselves pizzas that tasted like Big Macs.
We went there one day. We took the pan. We ran across the Rouse's, the grocery store, and we got some ingredients, came with some eggs and everything, came back, and she comes walking in. It was a Saturday morning. She comes walking in the store. She goes, what's that smell? She looks at the pan going through the thing. We were making a quiche. We had a quiche going through there. And she looks at me and she goes, what's that? I said, our breakfast. We're not open yet. She goes, you gonna give me a slice?
Yeah.
I said, come on.
We
She says,
we
I like
always
coming
had,
to this store. You never know what you're gonna get.
I always had eggs in the back because I would be making breakfast pizzas.
Yeah, she said, this restaurant is the best one in the region because when I come in here, I know I'm gonna get something different. But let me tell you what she did me one night. We were in the middle of inventory. And one of the most expensive things in there is the sausage. So I went in the back and I'm doing my inventory and I put down, it was I had almost 2 cases of sausage. And as soon as I punched the number in and I walked to the back to check something, I get a text, double check your sausage, your number's wrong. And because she was monitoring the inventory that night. I walked to the back, took a picture of the full box and the picture of the rest of the stuff. I said, no, it's not. Like that. When we were at the big area meeting, she stood up in front of everybody and she said, let me tell you why I don't go to Joe's store. Because I can't correct him because he's usually right. That's what she said. She said, the other night with the inventory, she says, I asked him to double, I told him to change it. He put a wrong number in for the sausage. He sends me the picture to show me he didn't. He said, so I just leave him alone. And she said, well, how'd you have so much sausage the next day? And I said, well, I think I ordered one too many, but it was good because that cut the date on that, you lose that real quick. But I had ordered one and all of a sudden we weren't getting sausage pizzas, That's what happens.
When you say sausage, what kind of sausage? That it's
little bitty balls, little bitty sausage, like a breakfast sausage that's in a little. Oh, that's not a smoked sausage.
And they also had Italian sausage.
Yeah, it's almost like an Italian sausage.
Yeah, sausage seasoning is usually things like thyme and the sage, isn't it? That sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the caraway seed.
So not like what we have for breakfast.
We have those things that are flavored with mace and
Yes,
you know
especially.
caraway and
Yeah.
brown stuff.
Yeah, I quite like Lincolnshire.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And obviously Cumberland.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
You
glad
get
I'm not there
lace
now,
on.
man. They got melts and they got everything.
All right.
Well, the window cleaners have to wait to be paid because I've only got £3.75 in cash in my pocket, so tough.
Oh, the things he sees when he's
Oh.
cleaning Mark's windows.
Mm. If you could see what he
Mm.
sees.
Not usually
Now I
much,
am.
but he normally comes earlier than this, and my curtains are closed because I'm usually still in bed.
We're not cleaning windows.
Mm.
Now I am mad because she used to come in there. Like I said, we always have something a little bit different, right? And I just looked. I wanted to see something on the pastas because they had a marinara pasta you could buy or Alfredo pasta. It was a chicken Alfredo or just a marinara. And I used to take the marinara pasta, and what it had, it was like it had a little bit of meat sauce, like it was made into the marinara. It was specifically for that. And I used to take the Italian sausage and mix it in for mine. Nobody else's mine, right? So I'd have the Italian sausages in there too. Now they have a Italian meats pasta. Okay, and then we used to take the Alfredo pasta and put veggies in it too, with the chicken. Now they have a veggie pasta. See, I should have stayed with them. If I wouldn't have got hurt, I'd probably be a regional coach right now. Not knowing that I want to be one, because but it's a lot of time. Just as a GM, I was 60 hours a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yep. It wore me out.
Way too much.
Yeah. I was 60 hours a week, but I was making my base salary when I got hurt was 68,000. That was my base.
Oh, that's good
And I was
wages.
bringing in bonuses. And this was back in 2016. 68,000 was my base. And my bonuses were 4,000 to 6,000 a month.
Jeez.
Yeah, I had a good store. I had a good restaurant, let's put it that way.
Pretty good.
They used to come ask me, how you doing this? And all my money was always within budget.
Hey, I missed it at the beginning. What happened with Ron?
Don died
Don-
yesterday.
Oh, fuck.
Knew it was coming though. Still.
Yeah, but I know I feel
Yeah.
bad for Ron and then his family because Ron was super
Well,
close.
he got over to the hospital and they said he was starting to slur in a little bit, but he said that all of a sudden he told him, I want out of here. And within about 4 hours, they got him out and they were sending him home on hospice. And the hospital got everybody available lined up and gave his name and his rank and everything he served and said that over the loudspeaker as he was leaving. And they were outside standing there at attention like and saluting them, all the military that had former military was saluting them and then put him in the car and sent him home.
He was home for 20 hours.
Yeah.
Before
I
he
was
died,
li-
apparently.
I was listening to the live stream back and I was up to the point of where Ron was breaking up and then I jumped on it.
Yeah.
So I didn't hear the rest of it. I just heard him say something about lining up at the hospital. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the true heroes.
Yeah, he died in his own bed with his cat laying next to him.
Yeah.
Yep. Said the cat got into bed with him when he got home, wouldn't leave his side. See, that's what my dad was in hospice the last few days at the house. And the dog was outside. We had an English sheepdog, and it was my dad. That was my dad's love. And he asked, "How's the pup doing?" I said, "Well, we've got her outside because she's too busy in here right now with you." He said, "Well, can we get her in? I want to see her." So I brought her in. Libby walked in, got to the side, looked at my dad, and just fell on the floor, just laid there. And I said, "Come over here." I got her up on the side of the bed, and he pet her a little bit, and she was just whimpering and laying there like she didn't want to. She knew something was really wrong.
Yeah.
So I put her outside, fed her and everything, and at night, fed her and checked on her and everything. We had put a dog house out there for her and everything because she had been an inside dog. Next morning, I walk outside looking for her, find her in the back of the yard. She died.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, tell me about that. She dies and she's laying in the grass dead. And I'm saying, you got to be kidding me. So I called the vet and they said, we'll come get her. We'll come pick her up like that. And I went inside. My dad says, "How's the pup doing?" So she's doing fine. That was the only time I lied to my dad that I could remember. And I said, "She's doing fine. I don't want to bring her in because she's all muddy. It was raining like that." So he was, this was the 20th of January. And my dad, he said, "Well, get her in later today. See if you can clean her off." I said, "I'll see what I can do." And he didn't ask about her again. But my dad died that night.
Mm-hmm.
I think you did the right thing though.
Hey, Joe, you sell your drones for scrap yet?
Are you watching?
Well, he's already got rid of one of them. Is in insurance that are paying for it, but the daft thing's
Yeah, I'm
ordered
about
them.
to. I get rid of 2 others and get insurance money for them. So
He's just going to crash them all. That's all.
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Don't let them hear that and think I'm doing that.
Lance is right.
I almost bought one this morning though, Justin. Came real close. But Lance, I am going to put that Avata on hold right now.
Paul's not listening. He's on the phone.
He's on the phone. Yeah, that Avata 2 that I have on order, I might cancel and just wait. And just have to just suck it up and fly the Avata 1.
Right.
The Avata one is okay now, isn't it? They updated it so it doesn't fall out of the sky anymore.
Yeah, Avata 1's not bad. I like the way it flies.
Yep.
And I kept telling everybody that was going to happen too.
Yeah, but it's
No.
It's probably what's going to happen is they're probably going to stop all the future ones coming in. May still take another 18 months to get it finished. 8 to 18 months.
Oh, for sure.
But
It's not gonna be overnight, but
yeah, and they're not going to
it's
brick what we got. They're just not going to let us get any more.
It's only
Yeah, I know.
one, in it. It's just gone through committee. That's all. It's got a good another 2
Yeah,
steps.
it may not. I tell you,
you wishing, Joe.
well, let me tell you what I did last night. I was watching you on Bill too for a little while, right? Coast to coast.
For about 10, 15 minutes, and then I took off.
Yeah, he said something that made sense, and I didn't even think about this. I went on Twitter last night. I went on X last night, and I put a thing in there saying, I said, please don't ban the DJI drones. I said it's going to cost a lot of small businesses their livelihood. I said because you're not going to be able to replace the DJI drones with any drones that are on the market right now, at a reasonable price, basically. I said DJI drones are non-comparable to what we have now for the consumer. And then I tagged Stefanik, Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House from Louisiana, Steve Scalise, all my representatives, Drone DJ, the Alliance. I've got about 8 or 9 tags on there. And then I went in later and did a second thing about banning DJI drones are going to cost lives because they're primarily used in public safety, did all of that. And I did the same thing. I tagged all these people. I think that old forts and drones, you've got 100,000 people that are signed up. He said on the, I think he said 100, it might be 10,000. But it's a big number. If you can get everybody there to do the same freaking thing, and we start hitting all these people with 10, 11,000, 12,000 tweets a day, they might hear it.
Well, my whole
Yeah.
thing is though, is 100,000 or even 10,000 signatures a lot out of a 330 million population?
Yeah,
That's
but
what
it's
you gotta look at.
100,000.
But you got to tell them
100,000.
it's going to cost jobs. It's going to cost livelihoods. It's going to hurt families. It's not going to save lives anymore.
Honestly,
That's
I
what you
don't
got to
think
tell
they-
them.
Honestly, I don't think they give a shit, to be honest with you.
That 100,000 members that Bob's got are worldwide, not just stateside.
Yeah, but
Right, but if
worldwide
you-
doesn't make a difference in the US politics, so
You need the U.S.
That's the
to do it.
problem.
Everybody in the U.S. to
Yeah,
send
that's
it in.
what I mean.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like that made a
Yeah.
difference. I was like, they don't give a shit what
No,
some
no.
foreigner says.
No, the difference being is it's not all American people.
Right.
So
If we can
it
get
would be a waste
everybody
of
that
time
has a
everybody
drone,
doing it.
like Dre, everybody that works with a drone, all these police departments need to start hammering all these things. Because I think what's going to happen, I'm going to tell you, I think what's going to happen when they pass it, it's going to be stuck. It's going to be stuck in litigation for a while because police departments, everybody's going to start filing suit.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
'cause
but
look
you
at the
can-
cost.
yeah, but you can file suit and but if it gets signed into law, then there's nothing you can do about it, even if you try suing the government.
It can still, if it gets signed in law, it can still put an injunction on it.
Yeah, federal
And
judge
then-
can put
I
an
don't
injunction
think-
on it.
I don't-
A federal
I
law
kinda-
could stop something, right?
They can
Yeah,
put
but
a
I-
They
stay
have
on
to
it.
hear it.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with, what Bill also said last night, that it ain't a big enough community to make a difference in that.
Mm.
I just don't think it is. I think it's too small.
I think it's a big enough community when you're talking about law enforcement and first responders.
If you said, yeah, if this was like affecting car owners, then you would have a huge community, obviously. Millions and millions and millions
It's
of
affecting
people.
public safety, search and rescue.
Yep.
I think that right there should be enough.
Yeah, but it's all whether the law enforcement cares enough to really go after government. They might just be like, okay, we're not using them no more. And that'd be it. It all depends on how willing they are to fight it.
You did a pickup shot for.
Because some of them might not give a shit. They might just be like, okay, and the government might throw them, 10 grand for them not being able to use them. They might throw them some money and say, here, do what you want with it.
Look at also almost every newscast uses DJI right now.
Fuck the
You
news.
got so
Good
many
point.
organizations that do use them. I think if they pull together, and even if they don't pull together, if they go individually at these places, because you're talking about Fox News. Fox News uses them. That's a big
fuck.
organization.
I said, fuck the
CNN
news
uses
agencies. Fuck CNN.
MSN, everybody. You know,
I hate the news agencies. I'm making my argument. You're just
But
making
it
my
doesn't
argument
matter.
for me.
it doesn't matter. That's a tool for their business. And it's like I said, and I think the public safety aspect of it right there should be enough to make people listen. Because they're
Yeah,
not gonna find something better than DJI.
But
right?
you're also looking at all these organizations survived before drones, and they could survive without them.
At what cost?
Right?
How many lives?
I think all the police should say to the FCC, well, if you're not going to allow us to use our drones to do our job, then we're not going to enforce your regulations anymore.
They can't make that decision. It's not the decision.
Well,
see
states can
why not.
states can actually
What do you mean?
do that. It's called, what the hell's it called? There's actually a term for it, where states will actually make shit illegal. Like they'll tell their state employees, you're not allowed to help the federal government with this. They can actually make it illegal. They feel like a law's overstepping.
Holy
Yep.
shit. Right.
I just can't
Who's
think of what
just
it's called.
flying
What?
Like I said, I feel bad for everybody, obviously.
Because
But
I
at the
mean,
same time, I could give two shits about a Chinese company. They could fuck right off in my book. But like I said, I do feel bad for you guys.
if they
Loki,
do
stop.
ban all the drones, they're going to be using the police to enforce that fact. They haven't got their own agents everywhere that can go out and do it.
I think it's more or less just if you get caught flying one is when they're going to catch you. I don't think they're going to actually go out looking for the drone.
Mm.
More or less like if you happen to be in a park and a cop sees you flying one and he writes up a report and says, oh, this guy was flying a DJI drone. The cop might not know it's illegal. But then all of a sudden the government gets a report that you were flying a drone. Is he,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But like I said, if the FAA decide that the police can use their drones either, then just say screw it. If you want to use your drone, mate, you use it.
Now, if they grandfather them in, then I think that would be okay for people just to
Yeah,
give
but
them time for another company to come out with some stuff. But
they can't, like Bill said yesterday, how can they do that? It's not the upcoming drones that they're complaining about because they're not here yet. It's all the existing drones that they complain about. So how can they grandfather them and say, well, it's all right to use them?
yeah, I mean, I got that point too. And the one I was really laughing at is everybody thinking the government's going to give them money for their drones. I'm like, yeah, fucking keep wishing.
Yeah.
That ain't happening. They ain't going to give you a damn penny for those drones. You'd be better off putting them on eBay and trying to sell them overseas.
That's about all you're going to be able to do with them.
And that's even if eBay allows that in the US because, you know what I'm saying, it might be illegal to buy or sell those drones in the US with that bill too. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You might not even be able to sell them on the internet because eBay and places like Amazon and stuff, they're going to follow the law as far as if they say you can't sell it, they're not going to allow you to sell it.
Yep.
Well, you'd have to advertise them on eBay UK, wouldn't you? Or something like that, rather than eBay America.
You'd have to VPN out into another country.
No, you don't need to. You just log into ebay.co.uk.
I don't know. I've never used eBay, so I don't really use eBay that much, so I don't know.
Each country has its own eBay site.
The only time I use eBay is when I'm just pricing stuff. I don't ever really buy or sell anything on there.
I think it'd be more accurate to say eBay has country-specific sites. The countries don't have eBay sites.
Yeah, well, eBay has different sites in each country.
I'm sure they probably got it set up like Amazon does, where you can just go in and switch what country you want to look at. Because Amazon, you can do that. So click of a button, you can
no,
just click on
Mark like correct, so I had to hop in and correct.
That's how I always
We're going
get
to grammar
prices.
check the shit out of you now, Mark. You want?
Yeah.
That's how I always get prices from everybody on Amazon in their own country. I just go up, click a little flag, switch the region, and then I look it up through there.
Yeah, no. On eBay, you have to log into the
Michael's got a
various different
grammar Nazi
websites.
outfit in the closet. He'll go put that on. And
in the closet, now I got it on.
oh, I'll go get my hood. I'm not grammar Nazi. I'm grammar KKK.
And I'm poised with the word actually.
Jonathan said nothing to say. You're not listening. I don't know who he's talking to on that.
I mean, it looks like Daryl made the right decision not to go working for DJI.
Yeah, but same time, that's all he uses for his work too.
But yeah, no,
So,
that is a problem, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, he said they do have some Skydios, but he doesn't like them, obviously. They said they don't
Mm.
like them because they're always having issues with them.
Hey, Dusty.
Oh yeah, Jonathan was talking earlier about,
Jonathan,
correct me if he's
Sarah.
wrong, but you guys already been banned from government use. Federal government, not local.
Mm.
Yeah, federal government has banned them, and
There are
for
some
use
states
in
that have
some,
banned them as too.
yeah, and some organizations have said, we're not listening.
Like in
Mm.
Florida, they banned them.
And it was a couple of police organizations said that we're gonna use the DJI drones, they're the best on the market.
Said that. Tell me that was.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago I heard that.
You know what state that was or not?
I'm thinking it was up in the New York area, up in the east,
Mm.
up in that
I
area.
wish they would do that when their stupid state government enacts unconstitutional laws on their citizens. I wish they'd fight
Yeah, you got
against
a
that.
point.
Dude, you know what law really pissed me off up in New York that was around for a long time that was so unconstitutional was that fucking stop and frisk law. That was the most unconstitutional law, and I don't know how the fuck that law got away with it doing that for so many years before they finally got rid of it. I don't know how they got away with that. But to just stop any citizen you want and search them is complete bullshit. To be able to do that. And I don't know how New York got away with that for so long.
Did you hear on those guys as well? How that somebody who's not helped the cause in the slightest in New York at the Puerto Rico parade.
What happened?
He was caught flying his it looked like a Mini 2 drone over the parade when there was a no-fly zone in effect.
Yeah, but now was that a no-fly zone from
It was
the
a no-fly
FAA,
zone because of the
or
parade.
was it a
of the parade.
no-fly zone that the city just said they couldn't fly there because New York
No, it
tends
was
to make up a lot of bullshit laws.
It
and
was a
rules that they're
no-fly
not-
zone because of the parade.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Was it
Yeah,
issued by
probably
the
the city.
FAA or was it issued by the city? Because the city has no authority to issue that in the first place. So that's
Yeah,
what
he
I'm
didn't have
asking.
I mean,
but-
the city
And the
can
reason,
declared a no fly zone, but it doesn't have the same effect as the FAA declaring it as a no fly zone.
well, what I'm
Yeah,
saying
no,
is
it
the
depends
reason
on
I
that.
ask is because New York City has had a bad tendency of making shit up and saying it's law and it's not.
Yeah,
They've done it so
And
many
then as a
times in the
state-
past.
I know
Then
they
the
still
state
have
may
the
have a-
police drones flying over the parade at the same time, but they're
yeah.
Because
a different rule, aren't they?
well, if it was a temporary no-fly zone that was issued by the FAA, his drone shouldn't have been able to fly there anyway, right? Technically,
No,
so I'm
it's still-
thinking it
No,
was.
TFR will not. Your drone
No,
may
it doesn't-
fly
doesn't
during
break.
TFR. It's your job to be responsible for keeping track of
Okay.
TFRs.
But I'm wondering if it was issued, if the city was just like, oh, you're not allowed to
Now
fly
some
there.
of the new drones, though, correct me if I'm wrong, will tell you that you are about to fly in a no-fly zone, and
Yes, no fly zones. Those are more permanent, not a TFR though.
Yeah,
Then the no-fly zones are the ones that will land your drone if you go too far into it, right?
yep,
Yeah, they just won't fly forward
you
anymore.
will hit a brick
Stop.
wall.
Like around we've got a
Airport.
national park over here that it will stay away from.
It's like
If you
an
get too
airport
close.
or a prison.
Or an airport won't it'll stop.
You have a national park
if
in
you
St.
try to
Louis?
take off in a no-fly zone,
Oh,
it
I'm
won't
not
take
debating.
off.
I'm not debating whether he was wrong on that, Jonathan. I'm just wondering if the city tried to make up their own no-fly rule or if it was the FAA that issued it, because I said New York is very well known for making their own shit up and saying this is law and it's not. They've done it tons of times in the past.
And then you got the other part of it, the state may say that they have full rights on drones laws and that no city organizations within the state can change them. That's Louisiana. This parish here can't say I can't fly in the park unless the state tells me I can't fly in the park.
I think that's the way Florida did it too. They
Yeah.
passed it to where no city or
They
municipalities
can't
could
do any
change
city
it.
ordinances or anything.
Right.
Because I fly the parades out here for like Mandeville for their homecoming parade, and then the priest stuff for Mardi Gras. I'll fly the parades out here. But what I do is I fly where I could take off, and I could shoot across the street in between everybody. I don't have to worry about people on it at the time. And then I fly the edge of the lake, so I'm over water right at the edge of the lake, so I'm not over people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm able to fly the parade area. And then when I fly back, I just make sure I come back around where people aren't, because I come in from the back of the parade. You just have to know how to do it.
And that was another law that New York tried to make up on their own, was they were trying to ban people from being able to fly in the city at all. That wasn't issued by the FAA. That was something the city was trying to do on their own.
City thing, yeah.
Because I remember everybody bitching about that when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were going
And
to try and make you pay a license and book the day and time in advance. Yeah.
And then if it's raining that day and you can't fly, you don't get your money back.
This might be a stupid question, but does the FAA own the airspace in between skyscrapers? Even though those skyscrapers take up a dominant part of the sky?
Yes.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's what the sheltered operations is what people are fighting for, or shielded operations, not sheltered, shielded operations are what people are arguing for.
Yeah. Because if you're flying in between a skyscraper, you shouldn't have to worry about anybody, because if a plane's going to be down there, it's got a bigger problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, but you can have helicopters flying in between them, can't you?
Very seldom you'll see one go in between them, unless it's an emergency type situation. They usually fly over them. Unless it's a single one out in the open, they fly around it, maybe. But I don't think I've ever seen a helicopter go between buildings, even in Louisiana down here in New Orleans.
The only planes
They've always been above them.
The only planes I've ever seen scoop between skyscrapers, and I've seen them do it multiple times, is military planes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Jet fighters don't give a fuck, bro. They'll be scooping in between the buildings.
They get into trouble for that, you know.
Well, like I said, technically the FAA is over the airspace, but the military pretty much will do what the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
Now they might get in trouble by their commanders, but trust me, they only call the FAA as a courtesy. If they want to do something, they're gonna fucking do it, and the FAA can piss off in their eyes.
I saw a very large transport aircraft do that in Australia.
You're breaking up really bad, Michael.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and your mic.
I'll wait. I'll restart my shit. I'm going to restart my shit.
At least I think that's coming from him.
Buy a can of switch cleaner and spray that plug.
That must be that mic that
Hold on.
that what you call it, Justin referred to you. So you to go out and buy that Temu mic.
So that's a Justin mic he's using?
Yeah.
It's Logitech, he said.
Dude, if my mic was a fucking Temu mic, I'd hate to see what a regular mic costs.
Mine cost about $50 for the mic. Mixer about $100. Audio interface another $50.
That's actually not that bad though.
No.
It's reasonable. But you also have a lot more cords too because of that. See, but back when I had
Yeah.
my first mic, I had a little mixer and all that, and I had all these extra cables and cords on my desk, and I was like, fuck this, and I went and got the Yeti. I was like, I want to get rid of all these cables.
Yeah, but if I was doing live streams and stuff, I would like to have the mixer and have an audio board set up on my iPad. Or if you're going to be doing something with multiple people. I bought the mixer and audio recorder back when my nephew and I were doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can get all crazy like Ken's fucking setup. Jesus. I think I think a lot of his stuff is just for looks. It's a bunch of lit up buttons that don't do anything.
Hang on a minute while I just give the standard reaction to that. You did a podcast?
Yes.
Well, what was that about?
That surprised the hell out of Mark.
Lower.
Basically, it was just a chance for us to get together and talk about TV and movies and shit like that.
All right.
I remember you talking about that before. We were talking about mics before.
I'm not even sure if it's still online. If it's not online, I'll tell you what it was. If it's still online, I'm not telling you what it is.
So it's either going to be a what it was or what it is.
I still have the audio files somewhere.
Oh, what's Jonathan talking about? Spent about 500. It came with a few things.
I think he must be talking about his microphone and stuff.
Nope. All about
No?
software, not hardware. Don't give a shit where the stuff's made. It's all about what's running it. What they're bitching about. And last night I was listening to Bill Drone Reviewer. Well, what about iPhones? I'm like, dude, they don't even make those in China anymore. They're making them in India now. So you can't use that argument anymore.
Oh.
iPhone 15 was the first one made in India. It'll finally be manufactured out of China.
I guess if you guys wanted to listen to the stupidity, you could. It's called 3 Drink Minimum, JRINK. It's the podcast that makes you sound drunk even when you're not.
Is it on YouTube?
No, but it's on Podbean still.
No.
And basically the premise was I don't remember if we started off wanting to do start off with 3 before we started talking, but I think we stopped that and just we'd drink 3 drinks during the course of the podcast.
Got a link for it?
No, look it up. I don't want to share this shit.
Hi, Laura.
Luckily, I'm too lazy to want to look it up. So
I'm trying to find the feed. That's XML, blah blah, no style. RSS. Let's see if I've got the RSS feed.
Oh, I heard that.
Talking about his DJI mics, yeah.
I've seen. No, I don't think the mics and the gimbals and stuff will have that problem. And the cameras, I think it's just the drones. I think they'll still be able to sell that stuff because they're not
Nope,
banning
we're talking about everything.
DJI. Why would the cameras and gimbals and shit matter?
Well, they're talking about DJI period, and they're talking about they actually part of it saying all their shell companies, all their it's based on everything, even their even Chinese parts.
And then I was
actually
seeing
into the
I
bill.
saw that drone on Bill's last night that had the Made in China sticker on the back of the controller. I was like, oh god, it's supposed to be made in Malaysia, and they're claiming it was a misprint.
How's my
You
audio
saw
now, by
that?
the way? Is my
You
audio
sound
okay?
fine now.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Good, Michael.
Yeah, you're not breaking up now.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Harry Potter game. I've seen gameplay of that. That game's pretty badass. Sean's wife was playing the hell out of that game not too long ago. But what time is that supposed to go into the house? You know, it's
I
gotta
have
be.
no idea.
Yeah, it's going in today, isn't it, or something?
Yeah,
It don't mean
There
they're
you
gonna
go.
do it today.
we got to.
They still gotta do some markings on it and everything else, and so it may not even. They've got only 4 more days. Then they're taking a break. It may not even go these 4 days. Maybe a month from now.
Well, it's supposed to be something like 6,000 pages long. How the hell can they read enough of it in a day?
They don't read any of it, so don't worry about that.
No.
They look at the name of it and the cliff notes, the dummy notes on it. Like it's a national security thing. It's Chinese drone.
The only
That's all I gotta read.
ones that know what's in that bill are the lawyers that wrote it up. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody reads that shit.
And Skydio.
But they had a good
Scotty.
point though. You attach that to a military defense budget bill. Hey, there's no way that ain't passing.
Yeah.
That shit always passes.
Be allowed to do that. Each bill should be worked on its individual merits and not
I
joined.
agree.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Should not be added to anything. None should
Because-
be added to any bill.
Like the one that I always laugh about that I've joked about that got passed by doing that was the whole alien thing. That's what started the whole David Koresh thing.
Ugh.
The guy that came out, the one it got attached to a COVID bill. And then they had to come out and give a report on all the alien evidence that the US government had.
Yeah,
And then
that's some of
David
the dumbest shit
Koresh-
I've ever heard.
David Koresh worked for the Homeland Security, and he was tasked to go around to all the agencies and pull all the files from all the different agencies. And then he got into a whole thing, and now he's a whistleblower for the government. And he's been on a bunch of podcasts and stuff, and he's been on like Joe Rogan. And the interview on Joe Rogan was really interesting.
But
It'd be a
linking
cool
those
job
bills
blowing a whistle
together,
all the time.
linking those bills together is crazy, as you described it, Justin. It doesn't make any sense at all.
I agreed with the alien one. I thought that was awesome.
Well, yeah.
Some senator or some what was it? It was either a senator or somebody had slipped it in there on under a COVID bill.
And who is talking about UFOs?
So some of the senators and politicians in Washington wanted to know what evidence the U.S. government had on UFOs. And so what they did was they slipped it in a bill in that was written up that said that they had to release all the information they had on it. And they slipped it in with a COVID bill a couple years ago. And nobody realized it, and they passed it. And then after that, the government was like, oh, fuck, now we have a deadline. And it gave them like 6 months to have to get all this shit together. And then David Koresh worked for Homeland Security. He was really high in
Are you
Homeland
saying David
Security.
Koresh? This is what I'm getting at. David Koresh was Waco. Was
No,
David
maybe
Koresh?
Gresh. Maybe it was Gresh.
G. Gresh?
Yeah, it's G.
Okay,
Gresh.
I was hearing Koresh. I'm like, David Koresh, wasn't he?
It might have been Gresh. I can't. It was something
Gresh, it is
Gresh. Yeah.
And with the
But-
hard. Okay, that's what I was getting to. I was like,
No, I was just mispronouncing it. But
I was like David Koresh, and I couldn't. That's why it wasn't making sense in my head.
But
I was
anyway,
trying to figure out how the Waco was tied in with UFOs, and it really felt like I might have been having a stroke.
don't ask
Nothing was-
questions. You don't ask questions you don't want the answers to now.
What the hell?
No, but yeah. Anyway, he worked for Homeland Security, and he was really high, and he was the one that was tasked with going to all these agencies and getting whatever evidence they had. And it started this whole weird, like, inner conspiracy with all these agencies and a bunch of in-house fighting between them over this. And then something happened, and he became a whistleblower and came out. And yeah, some of the shit that he talks about is crazy sounding about what they actually know and everything. It's pretty wild. Joe Rogan's got like a 2 or 3 hour podcast he did with him. And it was pretty interesting.
What did you think of Terrence? What's his face? I'm fascinated. The guy that was in Iron Man. Terrence
Howard.
You wanna see it?
Howard. Yeah.
What about
What do you
Terrence
think of
Howard?
Terrence Howard, Justin?
What about him?
I'm gonna hurt
Is
you.
he a misunderstood genius, or is he?
I don't know. I don't really
I don't know
remember.
anything about it, Terrence Howard.
I met him
He
when
was
I
good in
was
Hustle and Flow.
when I was in
Thank you.
those 2 movies with him, dude. I was a little kid. I don't really remember interacting with
Oh,
him.
of
I didn't
course.
even.
Yeah, you did.
I don't even remember. I didn't even realize it was him until about 20 years later, when I
Mhm.
found the videotape at my dad's house. I decided to watch the movie again, and I was
They-
like, "Holy shit!"
Mhm.
He kind of blocked out, like he blocked out all his interactions with David Koresh.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I was
the-
like a 10 and 12.
Like
with
trauma.
those movies.
He blocked out the trauma.
The only bills we've got about aliens are the illegal ones.
Well, I mean, I was a child actor in Hollywood. What do you expect? A lot of crazy shit happened.
Yeah,
A
you're
lot of
probably lucky
cocaine.
to get out of that.
A lot of cocaines and sex. 12 years old.
When in Rome, you know.
Exactly. Went in a row.
Yeah, except he didn't smoke crack. He just ate crack.
Oh, fuck. This made me choke on my vape.
That's fair enough, Justin.
Yeah,
I mean,
I was in 2 movies with him, Jonathan, when I was a kid, and I don't remember. Like, I didn't realize it was him till like 20 years later. Like I said, my dad had copies of the VHS tapes
Coming to
from the
meet ya.
movies, and this was back before he was really super famous. He was working with a bunch of college film crews and
Hey,
stuff
Daddy,
from
Mom.
universities and stuff,
Mhm.
doing college under budget films.
I think
I didn't- And when I
regardless
realized
of what
it
people
was
think
him,
of
You
him.
can take
Sorry. I thought you. Carry
Oh,
on.
go ahead.
it up into some little pieces with your
Well,
hand.
I was going to say, regardless of what people think of him or what he says,
Down
I think
on-
maybe his scientific opinions are a product of what happens when people don't say or don't call you out. You know, if you surround yourself with people who say yes to you all the time, no matter what it is that you say, it changes
Yes.
what you say yay or nay to all the time. Yes. And so you end up with a different opinion of your own opinions. Does that make sense?
Like a Dusty.
Can you see what I mean?
I never got to be the Hannah Montana I wanted to be.
So
Yeah.
rather like one of those two brothers, you know, they don't know when because people don't call them out on their bullshit. You know, they just don't know.
Oh God.
Well, there's a
I
lot
need
of
to-
actors that say stupid shit. I like their movies, but past
Sure.
Justin,
You-
where was that movie that you shared? Was it on YouTube? Did you say that clip
which one?
or the one that you were in?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube.
I need to find that clip and just have that picture of you just looking off somewhere, and just put that with the caption "Too ugly for Dan Snyder."
No, his that's like Robert De Niro. I like Robert De Niro's movies, but the way his
he's a fucking
outside
idiot.
political views, yeah. But I try to separate them being their outside lives from their movies
Yeah.
because I do enjoy his movies.
Wait, who are we talking
I
about?
wish they'd never said
Robert De
anything.
Niro.
Oh,
Like, I really like his movies, but as far as, I mean, because you got to say, man, some of the movies he's made, especially the ones
Mhm.
back in the 90s, like Goodfellas and all that, you
Oh, yeah.
can't down those movies. Those movies are classics and will always be classics. But I try to separate that from that when I watch a movie with an actor.
yeah.
that I
Separate
don't
the
line up.
artist from the art.
Right. Because I don't, like I said, just because Robert De Niro's been out there acting all kinds of crazy lately doesn't mean I'm never going to go back and watch his movies again. I mean, I
Right.
do enjoy his
Yeah.
movies.
I find that quite difficult. I wish I could do it, but
Well, I try to not think about it when I'm watching the movie. You know, I try to
right,
just
yeah.
focus on the movie and enjoy it.
That's the way to go.
Well, if you go back, I mean, one of my favorite movies has A Bronx Tale. Has him
Yeah.
in it. He's not a main part of the movie, but yeah,
Like Terrence Howard, I've the few movies I've seen him in, like newer movies, he was good. Like Four Brothers was a good movie. He played the detective in the movie. He was trying to help the brothers out.
Yeah.
Hustle and Flow was a good movie. A
mm-hmm.
lot of people that got really good reviews that came out.
Yeah.
Going back to pizzas,
Yeah.
Kate asked me to order a pizza yesterday. So I went online, went on the pizza, tried a few different ones because she's fussy. And I went on this one and it said, build your own pizza. Choose your type of size of pizza. So pick the size, choose your crust, pick the crust. And that was it. It didn't give you any toppings to put on it.
You built it yourself, didn't you?
Yeah,
Oh, David slipped in.
It was a non-existent pizza because there was actually nothing on it. Oh, it was. How on earth can you put an online menu where you can't actually pick what you want to do?
Yeah, but think of it this way: they've all given you your pizza base, they're giving you the stuff crust, and
Then
then
you build your
look
own.
at that, and then you build it yourself at home.
At home, yeah. You can pick stuff and put it on at home. Yeah.
Yeah. So they didn't mislead you.
They did exactly what they said they were going to do: is provide you with a build your own pizza.
Mm.
Maybe here's a theory. Maybe you didn't see the button that had toppings on it. Maybe
No, it didn't have a button.
it didn't have a button.
Who is it that's got the Lord of Sealand title? Is that
Draymond? Draymond.
How old is he?
Dre.
Yeah, he's in his 50s, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff from up the street just posted a.
What did you say? Dre's in his 50s? I'm pretty sure it's 60s.
I think he might be 60.
Who?
Yeah, Dre.
What? You talking about Dr. Dre?
I'm talking about Dre on here.
Draymond Crawford.
I'm sure he's in his early
60s, look
50s.
70.
Late 50s, 57, 58, 59. He's in there somewhere.
Well, there you go. But anyway, it has to give up its title of Lord of Sealand at the age of 80.
No, he's only a couple years in.
Yeah, they're going to pass a new law that all lords must retire their name at the age of 80, which means no one can die Lord of such a thing anymore.
So it's got to be Lord. It's got to be Right Honourable Dre now, is it? If he's a Lord. Okay.
So they're picking the age of 80, allowing the fact that people obviously don't die at 78.
Yeah. I think it's more that
Who the fuck cares? Like, is it that big of a deal?
I don't think it's going to affect very much, but it's going to affect a lot of people over here because at the moment they have the powers to go and sit in the House of Lords and rake in the money just for sitting there and doing shit. Yeah. And there's a lot of people in their 80s, 90s that just sit there and go to sleep.
Oh, lords must be a different, what we call congressmen.
Yes.
No, a lord is a Um,
No, he
it's,
said they just sit there and don't do shit and get paid.
well, yeah,
It sounds like a congressman to me.
well, yeah, but we have the House of Commons, which is the MPs, and we have the House of Lords, which is the nobility.
Mark, you couldn't just let me have that one? Jesus.
Yeah,
No.
I know. I agree. It was amusing.
But on this occasion, one was not amused.
Almost amused.
I think that they have their right to their opinions on politics, Jonathan, but I don't think they should bring that into their professional career.
Have you heard the video? Have you heard the video of them telling everyone how to vote?
Jonathan.
I think by bringing politics into your business is a horrible.
It's a bad move.
Business plan.
You know something?
It's a seriously bad move because how the America is more or less polarized. It's either one side or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you alienate 50% of your audience.
Yeah, you're going to alienate a lot of your customer.
Yeah, 50%
I think you should
every
keep
time.
Whether you're running a small business or you're an actor or anything, you should keep politics out of your professional life.
Yeah, I
you know, like
No
if Joe was running around, saying photographers for Trump all over his fucking cars, then there's probably gonna be some people who'll be like, I don't want him taking my kids' pictures, right? You wouldn't want to display that because it's, I don't know. To me, it's being a little unprofessional.
Once Captain Joe turns off Zoom,
Because there
he
are
puts his
people like that.
underpants over his trousers, runs outside and goes, Donald Trump for Trumps.
I mean, there was a couple videos on YouTube that went around a couple years ago where some contractor showed up to a house to do a job, and because he had a Trump bumper sticker on his truck, the people kicked him out and told him to leave. It's like that right there just caused you a job. Granted, I think the people were overreacting that
They're
didn't let him do the
overreacting,
work.
but they do have a right to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying
They
is that
shouldn't.
guy now shouldn't have had political stickers all over his work truck. I think that's, I mean, if you want to go that route with your business, it's 100% your choice.
Attackers.
But I don't think it's a good idea.
Yesterday, I got my voting card for the general election, and I went on Facebook.
Damn, Dusty.
And the first thing that I saw when I went on Facebook was register to vote here. Do not lose your vote in the general election.
Did you see what Dusty put in the chat?
With Facebook.
Exactly. Twitter does the same. It's like, who are you going to vote for? Mind your own fucking beeswax.
See, like right now, Donald's wearing Dr. Pepper shirt. He's appealing to David, but he might be pissing somebody off in the chat who's a Pepsi fan. Or the host of the show who likes
Hey,
Diet
Da-
Pepsi.
David, how's your anger management class?
Hey.
I do it once- I only have to go
Don't
once.
talk bad about the Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper is shit.
Dr. Pepper went to school for 4 more years than Mr. Pibb.
Exactly. Go on. You're barred from the living room. Get out.
Why? Because I don't like Dr. Pepper.
Out.
See, that's extreme, Dusty. Like it's their company and they can do what they want, but that's a
My
little
opinion,
extreme.
you should just piss off.
It's my opinion. I think it's shit.
Yeah, well, go away. Can I invite you in here? Go on.
So I'm going.
As you can see, anger management's going well. I didn't lose my temper. I just told us to piss off.
He did it in a polite way.
Yeah.
It's like, would you mind pissing off, please?
Excuse me, but could you please pass the shut the fuck up?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go anger management once a week. And I think there's only 2 of us next week left.
I think you need to take an online shopping course too.
David, when it comes down to you, I want you to jump out. It's finally me, just me. I win, motherfuckers.
What? I'll do that. If she quits next week because there's only me and her left, that's it. I'll be running around going, I won! I won! Fuck all of you!
you're gonna
Don't
do
laugh
what to
about
who?
what Donald just said. You politely pass a
I'm
shut
gonna
the
run
fuck
around
up?
shouting I've won and shout fuck the lot of you.
Who's Delaria?
The lot of you.
Oh, the lot of you. I thought you were gonna screw some.
Why would you want a soda called Pepper? It doesn't mentally add up. Hell yeah, it does. Pepper.
That's it's
Dr.
got
Pepper's
pepper
got
in it.
23 flavors, son. It's good stuff.
And it's got peppers in it. So, yeah. Oh,
Because it gives you a pep. It peps you up. It's a pepper, not a
Downer?
vegetable / fruit pepper. It's a pepper. Peps you up.
Pepper.
Now we know who Donald's sponsor is.
I don't get away with that.
Listen, Dr. Pepper, drink it hot. That used to be one of the slogans. It's great hot. Just go ahead and heat up a little bit of it. It's delicious. Drink it at 10, 2, and 4, son. Drink it at 10, 2, and 4 to give you that little lift when you're on the floor of that factory working hard. You take your break, 10, 2, and 4. Just get yourself a Dr. Pepper, suck it down, and get back to work making money for your family, for your community. It's the American way. Drink Dr. Pepper.
And scene.
And also
Perfect.
Don,
Very good.
all of the soft drinks that are popular today were invented by pharmacists.
Nobody asked you, Pepsi lover.
Mouthwash.
So it's the drug of today.
Like I said,
Dr. Pepper.
Like I said, nobody asked you, Pepsi lover.
Yeah. Just remember, Dr. Pepper is now the second most selling brand in the world.
Dr. Pepper, so misunderstood.
Oh crap.
It's Dr. Pepper. What's the worst that can happen?
Oh yeah, so misunderstood.
So misunderstood.
No, you're so good.
Well, actually, Dr. Pepper is part of Seven. Dr. Pepper and 7-Up are both. Read the label here.
It says in the small print. It says not a real doctor.
Does
I'm
it?
looking for the video of the.
No, it doesn't.
I'm surprised it doesn't, just in case.
It says
This
produced
is,
under the authority of Dr. Pepper and 7-Up Incorporated.
That's
Just
American
beware.
soda.
It's owned by Coca-Cola, isn't it?
No, they're their own company.
What, Dr. Pepper?
Dr. Pepper and 7-Up are both of their own company together.
Until
a minute.
I'm telling you, it doesn't say anything about Coke on that bottle. It would have Coke's. It would say whatever parent company, whoever's the parent company, would be on that label.
You'd think that'd be brought up, wouldn't you? By Schweppes or something.
Jonathan says all Dr. Pepper does is make you burp.
Pepsi's actually fucking massive now. Ever since a few years back, they bought out Frito-Lay. Now they own like 70% of the damn chip market because of that. That was a good buy for Pepsi.
Yeah, goodbye, Pepsi.
Because Pepsi, now they're a lot of their distributors in the stores now are starting to do both instead of having separate.
Distributors, are you English or what?
Yeah. It's
Not distributors.
Distributors.
I had
Yeah,
my hot
we
tea
say
today.
distributors.
Or merchandisers, I should say. In-store merchandisers is what they call them. They usually, Frito has their own and Pepsi has their own, but they're starting to mix them now in some stores where the same merchandiser does both.
I can't find the spec ad. It was a spec ad of a guy sitting in a bathtub full of Dr. Pepper. And he had his guitar and he was singing a song, DP, find out what it means to me. Even when I have to pee, what comes out used to be DP.
I wonder if you get like caffeine poisoning from sitting on that much soda.
Nah.
All that caffeine soaking into your system.
You're not going to get a lot of soda soaking in from your skin.
You could have some of the chemicals mixed with the soda do that, couldn't you?
Don't go any further down.
What if it goes up your pee hole?
That wouldn't stop. Y'all getting in the right direction, but don't go anywhere.
No, the song specifically said something of his peel.
Well, the great thing if you're a guy though, your balls act as little sandbags to keep stuff out of your bum. So
It does, yeah. The island sandwich. Hey, did you know, right? Very, very important, Justin, is that your testicles are made of a certain skin, right, which is very agreeable to some chemicals. You can absorb chemicals through your ball bag. Seriously, if you were to make a paste,
he sounds so proper when he says ball bag.
swear to God, if you were to make a paste out of some drugs like paracetamol and aspirin, let's just say salicylic acid, and you put it on your ball bag, you would get a dose of those painkillers. I promise you.
Not even with this accent when he says ball bag.
Scrotum.
Scrotum, yeah, the old satchel.
Scrotum. The old satchel.
Scrotum.
Oh.
And he had the thing about Dr. Pepper going to school for 4 more years and Mr. Pibb, and the doctor is not a man. Doctor's a woman, a sexy woman. I'm remembering the ad, remembering the specifics of it more as I talk about it.
Well, now you
can't
have
find
to
it.
find it. You have to, Don. There's no question about it.
So Dr. Pepper should have merged with Coca-Cola in 1995, but it was blocked. And it's now owned by Keurig under the brand Keurig Dr. Pepper. In America, 30 states, it's bottled by its own bottling company. And on the rest of the world, it's bottled by Coca-Cola and PepsiCo.
Okay, so they have contracts with both companies.
Yes.
Use their facilities, okay. But they're not owned by them, they're just, they got contracts with them.
It was a temporary ownership, and now it's
Well, it's probably blocked because they were going to say Coke was getting too big. But I mean, look at Frito. Like I said, take that look at Frito-Lay, right? Over here in the U.S. If you go down the chip aisle in any grocery store, they literally own like 80 or 90% of the chips on the chip aisle.
So a bit like over here.
And usually the only chips that aren't theirs are the store brand chips that are packaged and sold by the stores themselves. So they almost have a monopoly over the chips.
A lot of the store brand stuff, whether it's chips or whatever you're talking about, is packaged and manufactured by the name brands, and they sell it at a discount.
Well, I know a lot of Walmart branding. It will specifically say on their packaging, this is not a product affiliated with whatever company that product is mimicking.
Oh, it is owned by Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Well,
The
Keurig
Dr. Pepper is owned by Coca-Cola under its Schweppes brand.
There you go.
Okay, because Keurig is a big coffee company over here. They're the ones that make all the coffee machines, little pod machines and stuff.
So basically,
the one that sent me the brand new one.
Yeah, Coca-Cola owned it
You don't
by
need to put Coke in it, Dusty. You just snort Coke and drink a Coke. You don't have to mix
Coca-Cola
them.
used to have cocaine in it.
Let your body mix them.
You just stick a straw in your Coke and shove the straw up your nose.
There you go. I said, let your body do the mixing of those chemicals.
Give me a few more details on this advert, Don. What happens in it? He's in a bath and he's singing.
It's a guy sitting in a bathtub. No, he's singing. He's got a guitar and he's singing a song.
Yeah.
About Dr. Pepper. And all I can remember something about DP, find out what it means to me.
Yeah.
But he
so is it
but then he goes into a spoken word saying about Dr. Pepper. Something about Mr. Pibb and Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper went to school for 4 more years. That's why.
Is it in the style of Aretha Franklin's song, R.E.S.P.E.C.T.?
No.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay. Could be though, right? Because
I mean, the only letters he spells out is DP.
But it's the find out what it means to me bit. That's a lyric from that song, you see.
Yeah, and I may be misremembering that little bit
Oh, okay.
of the lyric, but he does talk about Dr. Pepper going to school for 4 more years.
Yeah.
And the problem of finding it is it was a spec ad. An agency did it as a spec ad and posted it, and the agency probably doesn't even exist anymore.
Right. Okay.
And this would have been back in, I want to say, mid 2000s. But I know he says, and people think Dr. Pepper's a man, but it's not. It's a woman, a sexy woman.
Okay. There were lots and lots of Dr. Pepper adverts, that's for sure.
Not as good as the Tango ones.
Well, yay. I now have audio. I've got edits lined out for the rest of the day. I had a surprise edit pop in earlier.
Reminds me too. I gotta
That's always fun.
pull that back up so I can do that update on Fortnite.
What? On a commercial you already done?
No, well, it's a company, bank over in Kansas, and they'll send over their poster that they're going to be putting up in their lobby, and they want something done with it. And so I'll take the theme of the poster and have somebody cut audio. And it's usually close to the same audio every time, but then put basically some video behind it and build a quick little 15-second ad. But it's usually a one-shot ad, so it's really super simple to do. Like month before, they did one, and it was talking about spring showers, and they had a picture of a mom and her kid out with the umbrellas in the rain. And so I just took that, downloaded some water spray on black, like just a graphic of like water droplets hitting like black background, and set that as an overlay so it looked like rain splattering on the screen. Just enough to add a little movement, and then put their savings account info up there, and they change out their interest rates and drop some audio on it, and I'm done. David Naughton, American Werewolf in London.
Oh, yeah.
Laura might as well pack a drone away. Summer's over.
Well, it's been trying.
Only just begun.
We've got another storm coming in.
Now we've just had a little drizzle earlier on.
Yeah, you're going to get some more tonight.
We were supposed to get rain at 4 o'clock yesterday, but it never happened. 4 o'clock yesterday morning.
Do you reckon it's not going to warm up now till the end of July?
It's supposed to be 18 degrees this weekend.
Michael, were you just humming "We've Only Just Begun"?
Yep, I was.
You know,
That was
next week.
That was a commercial song. That was made for a commercial.
It was? Okay.
My favorite commercial writer from the 80s, Hal Riney, was approached by a bank. They wanted to get young people to come in for loans.
Okay.
And so he wrote this concept, and they got Paul Williams to write it. And they followed this young couple getting married, and hey, you're going to need a home loan.
Starting off in life. Yeah.
And starting off in life, and we've only just begun. And it was such a big hit that the bank told them to take it off the air because they were getting people coming in. They realized this is a shitty idea. We're having kids come in here to get loans, and they can't pay us back. These are horrible risks for this. And we should be aiming at older people who have established credit. And so they pulled that off. But meanwhile, it's a great song. The Carpenters had recorded it, and it became a hit for them.
It's a
But it
great
was
song.
the concept was originally Hal Riney. He was the guy who gave us Bartles and James.
Okay.
He also wrote Ronald Reagan's commercials, Morning in America, and The Bear.
Okay.
I'm an ad nerd.
Yeah. Well, it's a professional, you know.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta jump off.
Dude.
Here. I'll catch y'all
Hal
later.
Riney, he had a way of
Uh-huh.
writing a commercial that gave
Okay,
you
Justin.
nostalgia for a time that didn't really exist.
Okay,
Right. Yeah.
see you later, Justin.
But it speaks to a different kind of truth, doesn't it? I think all things that make you feel like that speaks to some kind of truth.
Mm-hmm. And he didn't have the best family life himself in childhood, and so a lot of it was wish fulfillment of what he could write that way because that's what he envisioned everyone else's lives to be, and that he didn't have. It was pretty interesting.
No, go in. Go. Go.
Okay, everybody, I think I'm gonna call it.
You tried a couple times. We refuse to die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell no, we won't go.
We'll see you later today, everybody. Hey,
We got
thanks
two
for
more
being here.
people than we had last time.
David, are you going live this afternoon?
No, because you're going now, so.
Oh, you're going now. Okay.
No, you're going, so I'm gonna stay quiet in protest.
Michael, Mark,
He's gonna sulk.
Joe, take care. We'll see y'all again later today.
All right. See you all later today.